Hey, my name's Rachel Antrell. I play Commander Non on Star Trek Discovery. Welcome to Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show with the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timeline Talk. Featuring guest stars, Worf action figure collector Kal'Hyah. It's stars and garters. More like command dips suck. Look out, it's Automaton 2000. We keep blowing him up and he keeps coming back. It's Wicked Realm Games Ben. And now, there's no way he gets this intro right. Here's your host, Captain Idol.
I can't hear Idle.
Idle, you're muted.
I am muted. This is going so well today, isn't it?
Why did we say anything?
Christ. I even said Mike's alive and I was muted. And everyone, welcome to Timelines Talks, the completely professional, where nothing goes wrong and I don't have my scene set up so subscribers can subvert my stream at all. No. No, thank you everyone for joining us for the Wicked Realm Games' Q&A session. I'm joined as always by Auto and Stars, and thank you again, once again, to Ben for joining us. Ben, how are you this week?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again.
Always a pleasure. Yes, we have questions submitted from our community. Thank you to everybody that submitted questions, be it via on the forums and via our Discord as well. We couldn't include them all tonight. Some have to go forward through to the charity stream, which WRG are coming on board as well, which we're very much looking forward to that.
On April 3rd.
On April 3rd. Speaking of the charity stream, if you're quite new and you haven't been catching up with the latest streams or checked the Discord, we've got some exciting news. I'm going to subvert this for a minute just to talk about the charity stream. We are supporting Mind, the mental health charity. Absolutely worthy cause, which is sort of something that speaks to both sort of myself and Auto. We'll have something to say on the matter on the night. We have some
It was actually founded by Vulcans, believe it or not. So
Would you know?
They came down to Earth for this one.
They did.
Things that the Vulcans gave us: Velcro lined and leotards.
Yes, we're very excited to have a special announcement. We've got Noah A.K., the actor that played Rin on Star Trek Discovery. He's coming on for a brief interview with us for about 30-40 minutes, so I'm very proud to announce that he's going to be on the show on the charity stream, so stay tuned for that. We've also got some giveaways. We've got games to give away. We've got Star Trek Online codes. We've got all sorts of things going on. And WRG as well, Ben and Fury, and I think Joe is it. Joe's coming on as well, so thank you very much to you guys for coming on and supporting the charity. So yes, April 3rd. Watch out for that. So let's not beat about the bush too much. Let's get on with what everyone wants. Let's go on to the Q&A. How are things in Wicked Realm Games, Ben? What's the latest? What's the scoop?
Things are good. We're working hard on stuff. We just went back-to-back clients with a pretty quick turnaround, which I'm very happy about. The team's really happy about. We got a lot of things down the pipe. We got a lot of things coming. So. I'll share some of those things today.
Excellent. Shall we kick things off? Auto, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, what are we drinking? That's what I want to start off with. Come on, you can't come on the stream without something to drink.
GG vibes.
Oh.
Local brewery. A hazy New England IPA.
Very nice. I'm going a bit classic. I've got a Brewdog Hazy. Almost back to front. A Brewdog Hazy Jane.
Nice.
Classic staple of the Brewdog family. Go on, Auto.
Stars, what are you drinking?
Oh, I can't fathom what could this black liquid possibly be. It's a joke. It's all liquor. It's poison. I'm drinking it directly.
It took me hours to edit all the profanity out of these questions for the lovely and talented WRG Ben.
That's awesome.
It's not entirely
if you guys remember, what is that? The George Costanza. The forums were angry that day, my friend, like an old man trying to send back soup. That's what it was like trying to edit these questions. To that end, I needed a very large drink, so
Jesus Christ.
This is the size of my torso.
I was going to say, that's younger. That's bigger than my youngest.
That's a photo, shouty!
Yeah, let's see if I can empty that before we get through the 10 pages of questions. Some of them we did cut out. A few of them I want to shout out, talking about expedition events, stuff to do with the galaxy map, stuff about sharing faction crew ahead of time. That's stuff that's already been answered, so we're not going to spend time on that this time. You can go back through I think this is your 8th Q&A with us, Ben. So if you want to go back through the...
Really?
20-some hours that he's donated his time to the stream and the community, I'm sure you can find the answers there.
Don't forget you're here forever.
And just very, very quickly, Roy Kirk did redeem some Shatner, read some Shatner. We'll do that a bit later.
Okay, we're going to start out. Ben has been looking forward to this for weeks. Every time he pops up in chat.
Yeah, I said I would answer to some of these, so the time has come.
So the classic disclaimer, plans can change. Ben comes on the show, and I think this last time was a lightning round question where he wanted to try to give a yes or no answer to some of these, and they didn't exactly work out as planned, and I guess that's the payoff when you choose to answer these questions instead of just saying pass, like maybe his coworkers are telling him he should have. I don't know, but...
They want me to pass on everything.
So a couple questions in particular. He was asked last time, can we expect established precedents about exclusive cards will be changed without notice? And you said no, and then 2 weeks later we had a Voyage exclusive in the pack and rerun the Reunion Spock and Kirk pack. And so you had said, the players don't like it, so we're probably not going to do it again, but it was done again. So what happened? What happened there with that?
Oh, this was with the Voyage exclusive?
And the Voyage exclusive and the Fusion crew. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's never our intention. I think with the Voyage exclusive crew that was in the theme pack, we've done that accidentally in the past with previous packs, and we've gone back and kind of fixed those. And we have internal processes that try to catch things like that. With the transition of some work, sometimes some of that stuff gets missed, and then once it's live, it's really like, all right, we can't take it down, because then if we take it down, some players might have a better advantage, or to pull the pack than players that weren't online then. So then that just opens up a whole can of worms. So at that point, it's like, all right, well, we gotta leave it live for now. But that's never our intention to do that on purpose, right? Sometimes things slip through, obviously not ideal. And we go back and we make changes to our processes and make sure everyone's aligned on those things. And as for the Elusive Treasures one, that was a quick turnaround that we had to do in order to make sure that we were going to be in a good spot for the rest of the year. And so that was a risk that we were aware of at that time. I knew that it was something that I was going against what I said earlier. But in business, sometimes you gotta take a hit in order to move forward in some areas. So obviously, going to be trying my best to not do that stuff going forward, and prevent that. And I see how much that kind of got everyone up in arms about too. So something that we'll definitely keep in mind and prevent going forward.
Sort of more candid answer than I was expecting. So forums and Discord, enjoy picking that one apart this week. One other thing that was said, I think it was on the yes/no lightning round. The question was asked, will we see quantum available from any other sources within the next year? And you had said, just a flat out no, because that's the format we were going for. And so someone asked, and this is the highly edited version, what's the point of these Q&As if we can't trust the answers? So we have seen the Quantum Pass now, something that you can buy at any time in the store. What happened with Quantum? Because it hasn't been that long since you joined us last, and there was nothing on the horizon now, but now we have a Quantum Pass.
Yeah, towards the end of last year, things rapidly changed when it came to what what we're looking for out of Star Trek Timelines this year. And at that time, that I answered that question, we didn't have any plans, and I want to iterate too that whatever I'm saying is like a snapshot in time of what is the current on the current workload or the current plan that we have. That plan changed. But yeah, and obviously I try to do my best too to stick to my word on those things, but in business sometimes goals can change, and I try to do my best in both areas to keep to also do my job, but also interact and be as transparent with you guys as I possibly can. But yeah, being transparent and true to my word, but also making sure that I do my job the best I can.
It's a tricky slope. I can appreciate that.
It's a tough balance, and obviously I've made decisions that we've been on both sides of it. It's just with these first few questions, right? That the last line kind of hurt a little bit, though. Like, what's the point of these Q&As? If we can't trust the answers, but that's because 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago now, when we transitioned over from our previous company and over to Tilting Point. One thing we really wanted to do going forward there was to have more open communication with our players and start doing stuff like this. One thing, and that was one of our initiatives. And it's not a small task for us too. But I just hope that these Q&As are fun and enjoyable for everyone as well. And just want to iterate that we try to stick to our word as much as possible, with still being able to commit and do the things that we have to do for our job.
Well, let's call out the Shield Patrol now. Get started, boys, shilling for the company. When I started, the first 3 years, I think there was one text Q&A from Wicked Realm Games, which
and the
hopefully I'm not
4 times.
Disruptor Beam.
Right, at that time, Disruptor Beam, and so it was a few lines that didn't really say anything, and that was it for like 3 years that I can remember. And Disruptor Me had a presence at conventions and stuff, but for the normal player playing, they weren't getting communiques, they weren't getting video or anything like that. So when you first contacted us shortly after we started our stream, it wasn't us seeking you out. You guys said, "Hey, we want to talk to the community. Can we?"
I didn't believe. I got this message
team up
from
with
some
you
guy
guys,
called Ben
so.
on Discord. I'm like, "Hi, can I come on the show? I'm from WRG." I'm like, "I don't believe you," and sent a message. To
I do have to say, it was
who
kind
is
of
this
sketchy.
guy?
I wouldn't believe me either. But,
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have sent Idle those pictures in retrospect, but
I have the proof.
live and let live. So yeah, we are shills. Boo us off the stream. All right, that's enough raking you over the coals. Folks have their answers on that, and if they want to chat about that, you can do that in our Discord into the wee hours of the night. Stars, you have the fortunate pleasure of starting off with a very frequently asked question for Ben.
Yes, in fact, this is my finger to the pulse because this is the most important question of the night. So let's see how this goes. Posed as a question by Racing Liners, and I'm going to butcher this name. Smokitaheli, I think that's how you say it.
Smokitaheli.
Yes, Gesundheit. Ben, you're here to announce the release of Lower Decks Crew in Star Trek Timelines, correct?
The questions are out of order.
We have a shared document.
Okay, so
Professionalism.
yeah. I was hoping to have something concrete to announce today, but I am unable to say anything right now. What I can say is that we are in the closing moments of this deal. We're getting very close. And I was really hoping to have something concrete, but I'm hoping that very, very soon we'll be able to officially announce something and maybe just kind of drop something out of nowhere into the game.
I love honor. I demand honor. Is that what you were doing while you were down by the crabbing?
Just, it'll be worth the wait. It'll be worth the wait.
It will be, because like I can only imagine how good they're going to look when they eventually appear in game. So obviously lower decks, we can put a pin in that. Are there any potential announcements with regards to the other shows, namely Prodigy and Strange New Worlds, like which have either premiered or on the verge of premiering?
I cannot speak to that.
This wasn't. We didn't ask me this ahead of time, so stars are going to get us into trouble.
There's a sniper somewhere off screen pointing a
You,
gun at Ben's
you
head.
miss 100% of the
Tricky.
shots
You guys are tricky. You try to sneak a few of those in there.
I mean, if you gotta try, we gotta try. It's hard hitting investigative journalism here, you know.
Okay, did I mention we have 10 pages of questions to go through? Luxie asks, when can we expect a new honor hall crew? This was asked before Kal'Hyah Worf, who we'll get to later. I guess I'll morph that into...
Gauntlet crew next. Maybe we can just pivot to that.
I'll morph that question into how often, because we've noticed they're a little more frequent, 3 times in a year. Are you guys looking to increase that pace of honor hall crew?
Yeah, we've been making some adjustments to that, just like the amount of honor sales and the amount of honor crew. We actually tried something a little different this time, where we released an honor hall crew that was not during an honor sale, yeah, it was I think we were happy with doing it that way, so I think we might end up doing that going forward. I'm not saying that to set in stone, but it kind of gives us a little more flexibility in scheduling things and kind of spacing things out a bit. Yeah.
So if we get an honor hall crew, save your honor because there's a sale coming the next week. Pay attention, guys. That's how they're going to get you.
Drain the bank.
From Space Junkies Cold, and this was not solicited in any way, when are you going to give Chakotay some love?
Remind me to ask Joe next weekend when we're on the charity stream, because he is much more focused and on the upcoming crew and content pipeline there. We do have one in the pipe that should be a pretty good one. Pretty powerful one, at least.
Okay, I did go on a 20-minute rant with the last Chakotay about how bad he was. So,
well, I know, because after that, I reached out to Joe and said, "Hey, we got to make a new Chakotay. We got to make it." So,
it works. The rants work, folks.
Guys, you want your crew in? Start a stream.
But I did want to ask, like, what do you guys want from a new Chakotay? Is there any specific moment that you would like to see? From an episode.
They're all the same, right? He's just the same bland character throughout the entire series.
Don't even start. Don't even start with me.
That's uncalled for. Hell.
Okay, so we had Homesteader Janeway, 2 years ago now, and she was a giveaway crew. And in fact, she is in the portal right now as a free Women's Day celebration giveaway. So I think from that episode, Homesteader Chakotay. Right. So Homesteader Chakotay from the same episode would be my number one pick, because he's such a man's man. He's wearing like plaid and a weight belt, and he's got like an axe swung behind his shoulder. It's the very manly version. So
I think you added details that may not have been there in the original Ed version there.
Chat, I mean, since you got Ben's attention, put your suggestions in there.
I personally would like to... there's two I can think of really cool Chakotay moments. One is the episode, I believe it's Nemesis, the one where he's like brainwashed by like an alien artifact, and they're like indoctrinating him to be a soldier, and then he has to see through that. I would like that as a version. That'd be quite probably a security like heavy base, but that's a cool moment. Chakotay, like a Chakotay focused episode, so that's less about him and more about how he reacts to things. I'd also really like him from Distant On, where he's collaborating with the dinosaur people about. I think it's a cool moment for him, because Chakotay is a xenoanthropologist by nature, and getting to see him represented in that moment doing so would be awesome.
We've got DJ Stars on the comm here. You're skipping like a madman.
wow.
Right, I will
have a restart.
I'll see what I can.
All right, that's enough Chakotay. Let's actually get to the question.
This one is from Luxie again, and just when you thought you were done with harassment from the community, we're back again. So, what was that thing with the orange art? Was it just a phase, and you guys grew out of it eventually?
Yeah. So recently we had some new artists. They were getting kind of pulled in, and when they first started out, they were I think they were leaning too much, a little bit of like oversaturating a bit. But we did get feedback from the community, and since we've made adjustments to that, in our pipeline moving forward. But I think this actually would be a really good topic to bring up in during the charity stream with Joe, because his background is all on the art side, and he runs the whole art side of Star Trek. So he'll probably have some pretty interesting behind the scenes stuff to add there.
Cool. Another question from Luxie. Crew retrieval is turning 1 year old soon. Congratulations on that. Is WRG satisfied with how the feature turned out to be?
Yes, very satisfied. It solved a problem in our game, and I tip my hat to the team, the engineers, and especially the design team, because it was a very hard problem to solve. Trying to let a player basically kind of, I guess you can kind of label it this way, of like create your own pack kind of thing, or able to target a specific crew that without going fully into the gotcha system or whatnot, or waiting for them to show up in an event or whatnot. But yeah, it was a very difficult problem to solve, and they tackled it, and we spent our time with that feature and really got it right, I think. And so yeah, we've been really satisfied with the results and what it has done to the game.
Can I ask you guys, just as players, what has been some of your own personal feedback playing around with pole stars and combinations and stuff? Is that something that has been mentioned around the office, so to speak, that it's something that's been enjoyable gameplay wise? Yeah,
it's like, if you're, it's nice to be able to look at your crew or see an event coming up and be like, oh, I need, I want to get my final star on this guy. Well, all right, let's go see what pole stars I have. How can I target him? And then with the part two of that, with Marketplace, you have a full path to, to target a crew that you're looking for, which is something we never had before that. We would kind of force you into the gotcha system before that. But yeah, I mean, internally, we always share like, oh, I had, very, very minimal odds to get this crew, or, and I got it, or I didn't get it. I got the 1 star. But that's part of, that's part of the feature. That's part of the, the whole design and balance of the feature. But yeah, we've been really happy with it.
Just a quick chat Chakotay update. We've got a few suggestions for Defender Chakotay, Disembodied Energy Chakotay, Chakotay Possessed Neelix. Who the fuck wants that? Where are we? Vidian Disguised Chakotay, Stranded Chakotay from Natural Law. There you go. Just a quick update for you. Just I thought I'd mention those. This next question. Sorry, go on.
I'll throw in Timeless. Well, as long as we're talking about Timeless Chakotay, where he's got like the silver fox hair, and he's got like the ski, the thermal jacket. That's a really good one.
Yeah, I liked Stars though. The Nemesis Chakotay.
And Reunion Auto and Chakotay is thrown in there by Go Bolts. Agent Danielle, and this is such an odd question. I don't quite know how you're going to answer this one, but I have joined the ranks of players that play this game in Nightmare mode. When can we expect there to be a corresponding feature that's built at the start of the game that takes our rules in? For those that don't know what Nightmare mode is, it comes from the brainchild of Janos Adanian, and it is a bit of a sort of hardcore way to start an alternate account. That it being marginally free to play, I can't expect you will have much, but please.
Yeah, why would you do that to yourself? That seems super painful. But officially adding it to the game, I don't think we would do that. The market for the audience for that, I think, would be very small, right?
You can call it strange. It's okay.
Oh yeah, it's weird.
It's cool. Like in a lot of really interesting gaming communities, they find ways to play the game differently because they enjoy the game so much, right? And kind of breathing life into it. And this is one of those things. I should make an account and go for it.
Hey, there's a Nightmare mode discussion chat room in the Discord. You're welcome to join. What's the update? Where's Stars? Is he all right? Is he okay?
I'm sure he'll be back when he
will
can.
be.
All right,
Okay.
Racing Liners asks, are there any plans to release the written distress call episode? I think in the past you said that it was written but not planned out with game assets and such.
Yeah, funny enough, I tried to sneak that into the 830 client, but our producer and our Joe, I'm going to blame Joe. Joe shot it down, just because of time reasons, and 830 was already, which is the build we just released, very recently. It already had a very quick turnaround. And I was like, Joe, I really want this thing, and he's like, no, don't do it. We can't do it. We don't have the resources for it.
So when you say release it, the whole distress call episode or just the story portion?
Or everything, like just releasing a whole distress call with I think I said last time too, like we have a distress call that is written. We don't have any, there's been no design on it as well. So like it's, and distress calls are a big, or, even just story missions, they're a big task. But it is still on our minds, and we would like to do it eventually. We just need to find the time and the design resources, that can dig into it and create it. It is not off the table, so we're still looking at how we can slot it in into the future.
Okay, next question from Ma'am. Is WRG planning any more credit Dabo sales like the one we had just before Crew Retrieval was released, or is that a one-time event?
Yeah, I would say probably not. I think it was a one-time event. It was solving for a specific problem. We knew we wanted to use credits in the crew retrieval system, but the credit economy was a little out of balance and out of whack. So we, so that's why we went with doing that credit Dabo sale.
Drain the cards.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just fix economies by having a fire sale, basically. But that's the route we took.
Fantastic. Okay, this next one's from Cranky. And Kal'Hyah like, oh, Stars, you're back. Would you like to take this next one? Good timing.
He doesn't know where we are.
Where are we? We're on Cranky. In the green.
Oh, boy. Oh, in the green.
Yeah, in the green.
Okay, right. Hello. Right, yes.
Oh, you are still skipping.
So I'll
right.
this. Okay, wonderful.
Never mind. We'll carry on.
Yes. Some Cranky. I'll phrase this a little bit more diplomatically. Where is the fleet leaderboard? We would like a fleet leaderboard. Where is the F **ING fleet?
Yeah, we've.
I think he wants a fleet leaderboard.
I would say so. We've had some recent talks about leaderboards, just leaderboards in general. So we've been kind of like early stages of thinking about just leaderboards and what we can do with them in other areas of the game, and including fleet leaderboards. But one thing that we've kind of been floating around is a longest voyage leaderboard, with leaderboard resets over
Funny you should mention
every month or something. So that's I'll let that marinate with you all. It's currently not in. It's not planned. It's not scheduled.
It's okay.
Anywhere,
It's okay. We've got that. We've got a handle on
we
that.
already have that in the Timelines Talks Discord. We also have seasonal leaderboards coming up.
We do. Well, yes, the new season is starting soon.
We should just pull the data from your tool and just kind of plug it in. Yeah. No.
Don't worry. Just use the community. We will do the work for you. So, in some of the ways anyway. Another one from Cranky. There have been instances where crew have had their artwork altered or updated. Blooded Dax and Patek Martok, aka 23rd Century, come to mind. Are there any plans to give Colonel Carl the correct art, or alternatively give the correct name? I believe this is a reference to the fact that there are 2 Herosian in the game, and one of them is misnamed.
Yeah, please add that to the forums if not already, in the engineering room section of the forums. This maybe this could be an opportunity to change the artwork for Colonel Carr as well, because I don't think the artwork currently used, I don't think, is even him, so it's like inaccurate. The current artwork for Carr is actually the other one that you mentioned. And I think the screenshot was just after he has killed Carr as well. So there's that's something that we should look into.
Yeah, fair enough. And now from Muad Dave, crew from Star Trek the Animated Series, oddly on topic, have widely different art styles. Consider Lucien's realism versus Lara's more cartoony style. As more crew from animated sources are added to the game, hint, hint, will WRG be setting a target realism level for these crew, or leaving the cartoonishness level to the artists?
Yeah, we tried a few things, I guess, like a few styles to see what worked. I think the more realism worked better with our game. It kind of fits our art style better, I think. So I think it was Laura that just seemed out of place. But it's another good question to ask Joe next time he's on as well, because I know that was the discussion of, where do we go with this crew and with that one specifically. But I think we just did the animated collection.
What happened? I didn't catch that.
I think we just did. Was that this week?
You did, yes.
Possibly.
All right, I'll tell you what, as penance, since we don't have a positive yet on Lower Decks, can you at least tell us what kind of art tests have you done or discussions you might have had about potentially incorporating just that art style into the game, since it is quite a bit different from live action?
Yeah, we're actually the Lower Decks art is very unique. I guess I would say it's much better animation, much better quality with Lower Decks than TAS. And so we probably stick to being authentic and having it still be maybe a mix of both, but still have characteristics of staying true to its roots and the animated roots. Which we kind of get some of that in some of our TAS art, and we've done a bunch of art tests with them too, and we're past that stage. And like I said before, we're in the closing days maybe of the deal. So I was really hoping to have something to announce today, but I'm hoping it'll be very soon.
So you're saying if we ask you enough questions today, we may drag this out long enough for you guys to have closed with Lower Decks.
It's ready.
Lawyers take time to do things. So I was really hoping. I wanted to be on the stream, so I was like, oh yeah, it'll be done. It'll be done in time, but no. But very soon, very very soon.
By the way, Ben told us that he has a moral support team at WRG. So whenever he looks to his left off screen, that means
that's what
they're like, great answer, Ben. That was a great answer. You really knocked out of the park, Ben.
I was just looking at people yelling at me, like, why did you say that? That was like when I said a long time ago, I was like, yeah, we're going to try to do a collection every month. And then our live ops producer is like, why did you say that? Like, are you kidding me? How are we going to do this every month?
Hey, you've been consistent. It's been fun. Yeah. Okay. This next question is from Brutus Buckwild. Bear in mind, this has been actually explained on your Objective Events video, which we quite nicely spoofed. What were the original goals of Objective Events, and does WRG believe that they have achieved those goals after implementation? After reviewing player reaction, is it fair to say... So I didn't actually read the whole question through. Is it fair to say Objective Events are a bust? So I should read things before I say them, but hey, this is from Brutus Buckwild. Blame him.
Before I answer that, I did just get it. I've been looking at the side screen because I'm getting messages from Joe. He said he can talk more about the Lower Decks art style when he's on next week. So
fantastic.
Next weekend.
You have to send $5 to charity for every sentence Joe tells you about Lower Decks. That's how we're going to monetize this.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. But yeah, to the original goals of the Objective Events, and if we think they are a bust. So it's a great question. I love questions like this because this is the stuff that I do from day to day. So the original goal was to increase the general DAU, so daily active users, on Tuesday to Wednesday, because those are the only days that we didn't have an event running, a main weekend event running. So every Tuesday and Wednesday, for years we would see an active player dip during Tuesday and Wednesday. And so we wanted to create
dailies.
So we wanted to create a feature to address that and to increase that number. Because obviously over time, every time you see a dip, you're not always guaranteed that all those players are going to come back as well. So that's something that was in our mind for a while. And there was some significance in elder players there as well, trying to keep elder players interacting and having fun with the game throughout the whole week, and especially during that Tuesday, Wednesday.
I don't know if I like being referred to as an elder player.
He's going to call you sir.
A veteran player.
Do I get money for this?
Elderly player.
Do I have to collect?
Back in my day,
do I get a bus pass?
Shan went through this whole thing and pointed out all the areas where I said elder player, because that's just the internal, that we just call them elder players there.
What else do you call us when we're not watching?
They call us double dumbass.
Veteran players.
That's not bad. I prefer that.
Veteran. You guys have been around. You guys been around for a while. You are our.
Yeah.
So.
Now I feel old.
And
anyway, sorry.
And as we are developing the feature objective events, we noticed some other potential with it there as well, like making it a new spot for month-long achievements, tutorializing early game features, which we haven't released those objective events yet, but they should be out soon. And they're mainly just to help early game players and teach them the core loop of why each feature is valuable. But yes, I would say the main objective events we were, from the start, our first few betas, we were not happy with, so we did have to make adjustments. But we did get a lot of good data back, on those and continue to do. And that's why we ended up running the Unleashed objective event, which the results on that, the quick results on that, I can do a deeper dive, but we're much better. So we know we have to tweak the Unleashed objective event. I know there was controversy over the 20 targets. So we'll have to make some adjustments there. But we were pretty happy with the results and engagement for that. But we have some bigger ones and some that are more focused on veteran players as well. But it's funny because if I remember correctly on a previous stream, Idle, you said that, and I quote, "If they throw a 4-star citation in there, that would make me do it week to week." and last week when you were on stream, you said you were not participating, and so I just wanted to bring that up.
How dare you use my own words against me?
But, hey,
fair enough.
Your words against you.
Look, he's only quoting you because you're an elderly player and your memory's not there anymore. All right.
Damn.
Veteran.
I can take it. It's fine. Okay, next point. Recent additions such as retrieval and the Polestar market underscore WRG's ability to come up with good ideas and develop them into solid finished products. Meanwhile, the game remains stale with weekend event participation based primarily on reward interest over gameplay enjoyment. Is WRG currently working on addressing the problem of repetitive weekend events?
Yeah, that's something that's on our mind. Especially of myself and some of the devs for sure. We did have I think a few design docs created for a new event type a few months ago that we wanted to try to release in Q2, but we ended up going in a different direction for a feature because it's just because of timeline reasons and some other things, but it's definitely on mind, and we did spend some cycles on it. And I wouldn't be surprised if a new event type does end up happening eventually down the road. But yeah, that's something that we're still thinking about and still noodling on.
Yeah, I will say for whatever it's worth that engagement metrics with the subreddit were actually the highest traditionally on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I think probably in between events players would come on, see what kind of news. You had new crew stats coming Tuesday, Wednesday. So
yeah, we usually have a new server push every Tuesday.
Right. So I guess I don't know. Maybe numbers are a little lower in game, but I think that a lot of players are still checking in on those days to see what's up.
Thank you, Megzati, for following.
Yeah, and there's another part of that too. That's about how we would adjust if I don't think we could change any functionality with the current event system, right? Like, I know I had an idea way back. It's like, well, Galaxy events weren't designed for a game that has over 1,000 crew, right? And so where we go from there, a few ideas are floating around. It's like, all right, well, maybe we add the getting tired system, like expedition
Fatigue.
events, but fatigue. But like, if we, I don't see that working. I feel like you guys would riot. So, yeah.
Okay. Third question from Bruce Buckwild. Any thoughts on a buyer's remorse collection? It could include the worst of the worst and offer the best rewards of all the collector's exchange. Might give people a new reason to work on Engineer Scott and the Binars. Why wouldn't you work on the Binars? Come on.
That's interesting. But we do like to create collections that are based off a specific theme and not kind of break that wall. But I could see us maybe boosting the common and uncommon crew collection rewards to kind of help with early game players, maybe, if that's like one of the concerns here with like why finish Engineer Scott and the Binars. I know the Binars are painful, but it's okay.
I think the unspoken question is, how much do we have to pay you to get the big book tier system in game? So when you open up the crew panel, it tells you what tier they are, because I think that would be helpful to players.
I know I've wanted that. I've shown that tool to devs, and they're like, wow, I wonder how long it would take us to put this into the game. So
by that tool, you mean bigbook.app? The website bigbook.app is what you're referring to? Okay.
Can we get it rolling?
I'll tattoo it on my forehead next time.
I know there's plenty of people out there that are still clamoring after a pointing collection or a hats collection, so even pets as well. So I'm sure there's a lot of fun in that.
Yeah, well, I think I have a comment later on too about that. But
all right. I imagine my audio issues are probably still going to persist. But
They're
I'm
actually better. You're actually all right now. You're okay.
Oh,
don't jinx it.
Okay.
We're okay. We've got stable stars. We're not trapped in a temporal time loop at this moment. You're here with us.
Yeah,
We need to push 8.4.
All right. So from Dangaven, who is from the CAB fleet, congratulations on your 6th anniversary this past January. What is the secret to Star Trek Timelines' long lifespan? STT is elderly. Our game.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. At least in my case, I joined, I think it was a year after launch. But yeah, the secret is an amazing community. First of all, you can't have a live game without a great community, and continued support through through new client updates, new features, quality of life improvements, and content.
Some kind of
I
was going to say some kind of train of content. That just keeps
some kind of
on
locomotive.
Content.
Yes,
the content train don't stop. We should make merch that just says that. I don't know why we haven't yet. Anyways,
if we could get a train with your
conductor's hat
says doesn't stop going.
I think I want my face as the front of the train though, like Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, Thomas Tank Engine. Yeah.
What did I just walk into?
Ben had never seen such beep in his life.
All right.
But if you really think about it too, like we release a lot of content weekly for a mobile game too. With such a small team, like per week we have 2 new crew, sometimes 3 new crew, and event offers, packs, LTLs, rerun packs, event supporting offers, some objective event now that's every week. Active campaign, new collection, once a month-long objective. That's so, and then other stuff, giveaway packs, yada yada, birthday packs. But it's a lot, and it's all thanks to the community for the continued support of the game, and the dev team as well, because it's a lot of work to on a weekly basis kind of roll all those things over, and make sure we get them live. And I wish we could have like a behind the scenes TV series kind of follow us sometimes on a daily basis, because I think that would be very entertaining. Sometimes it's terrifying on our part. Like I know that
only if we can narrate it.
with your skills and your video skills, Idol.
Here we see Ben in his natural habitat, slumped over his desk.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're gonna, here we see Ben in his natural habitat. You got to do the.
You nailed that, Boosty.
All right, I this may be wildly inappropriate, but let me put you on the spot for a second. Can you give us one name and no details, but just a name that we haven't heard before? Someone working on this, who's done a lot of work behind the scenes or has been instrumental, who players might not recognize, but they deserve recognition.
Yeah, I would say one of our engineers, Jose, has been an absolute hero, especially over the last 6 months. And that includes, and honestly, everyone that's still currently on the dev team that is working hard, making sure things continue to move. And I know the past few weeks with just everything going on, either with the state of the world and Tilting Point being a global company, has offices in multiple areas, so things going on in the world have affected us as well. But I think we've put up a theme pack 20 minutes late, and we announced an event an hour late, over the past few months. And if you we have the behind the scenes TV show, I think you guys would be impressed with how we're able to kind of spin it around and make sure this ship stays afloat and moving forward.
So this is like Hard Knocks for the NFL, where we see like Shan yelling at all the players, telling them to get their head in the game, and
yeah, that's me. It's like, all right, guys, let's go. We're gonna get this done. And Joe, I would say Joe as well. Joe is a huge member of the team, making sure everything moves forward. Yeah, and in addition to that too, not just content, but new clients, new features, and throwing all that into the mix too. But I do really appreciate this comment because, frankly, it's just nice to be appreciated instead of yelled at on the forums.
It's the first nice. We're on page 3. It's the first nice question.
I like it. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Well, don't get used to that.
Yeah, no. We can't wait. So, Warnick has a question, and I believe that it's a question that you may never have heard before, that will blow your mind when you hear it. And this may come as a bit of a shock to you, but there are, in this game with 1,000 crew, there are some that have traits that some believe to be inaccurate, missing. And some intrepid player, we don't know who they are.
Could be anyone.
They're nameless. They work tirelessly.
Handsome.
Yeah.
That's never
well
been
endowed,
proven.
I'm told. That one has.
All right, get to the point.
Is asking, can we have another clip, please?
So it's still on our to-do list. We have a feature that we want to release in Q2 that might kind of pair well with this somewhat.
The question asked was trait audit, because I think you cut out their stars.
Yeah. We have a feature that we're hopefully releasing in Q2 that I think could pair well up with this change. So that client's already loaded with a bunch of stuff that we want to try to get in. But if miraculously we are able to get additional resources sent down from the heavens, then I think this would be something that we tackle. But we would like to do another one. I don't want to promise anything, but in my brain, I'd like to at least get it done, before Q3.
So you mentioned assistance from the heavens, and that just makes me picture that in the WRG office there's a little corner of, and you just have like a framed picture of Q, and he's pretending to be God in tapestry. And whenever a hard day, You just lean over and you touch it and you're like, give me straight John Delancey. And then you just, in the back of your head, you hear, keep working, human. And then you're like, yeah, that could be the reinforcement I need to keep going.
Yep, it's like whenever it's like a baseball player, like when they get to the home plate, they're like, they kiss, they do this. And like when I'm walking to the office, I like kiss, and I just put it on that picture of John Delancey.
Meanwhile, we're doing angels in the outfield over here, and we're like hoping for divine intervention.
Enough
All
of
right. The while never ends.
Yeah,
no, someone said you heard Ben. He promised it. I did not promise anything.
No, actually,
don't you do that. Don't you do that?
This time,
I would like.
This time, Shan said that you were planning to do another one. So we can throw her under the bus this time.
She'll love that.
Shan's great too.
Okay, let's keep things rolling. Genocidanian asks, with well over 1,000 crew in the game, I'd like to renew my question about expanding some of the achievements like immortalized crew gauntlet rounds, number of voyage dilemmas, etc. There's no question there, but
yeah, I think last time I said that we wanted to take a look at that. We just haven't been able to get around to it. We just need to take a look and kind of test that out. I think in the past we extended an achievement, and it ended up causing issues on a lot of players' accounts. So. We'd have to do some pretty extensive testing, and if a player has it completed, what happens if we extend it? So we need to, if we're going to do it, we need to make sure we do it as safe as possible, because we did flub up once regarding with extending an achievement.
I recall that worked out really well for everyone, didn't it?
Was that the time we got loads of honor for free? That was great.
Yeah, there's that Catholic level bug.
That was terrible, because that was right over Christmas too. And I remember when that happened, and everyone's on holiday, and we're all on Slack, and we're like, "What do we do?" And we're like,
"Merry Christmas!"
Like we can't take it away now. Yeah, I think that's what we ended up doing. It's like, here you go, guys. Like, happy holidays.
To imagine is that over in the corner of the office there was someone that you didn't see that was playing the game on their own, and they were like, "Yes, it went through."
Okay, would you consider rarity-based collections for super rare and legendary crew?
Yes, I would, and I have thought a lot about it. I don't know if it seems too painful though, but I have
this whole game is pain. All right, everything we do is like on the grind. So
what does that make you then? A masochist then now?
But we would need to establish a process for continuously updating those collections, though, right? Because we're constantly releasing new 5-star crew, we're constantly releasing 4-star crew. So the amount of crew would cause us to rethink the rewards and the milestone structure.
2,000 threshold done.
Like that. Yeah, there's a lot of 4-star crew in the game, and the type of rewards as well. But that would put value in completing every crew, right? And that's kind of like what the end goal is as of right now.
So I'll piggyback on that. You did just release an animated collection, which does say in the description, folks, for the animated series. So don't be expecting Lower Decks and Prodigy and everything else in there, but that opens the door, obviously, to series collections. Is that something that you guys have thought about?
I have thought about it. The problem is that our series, with the way we set up our traits, they're actually set as hidden traits, and so those aren't searchable in game. You can't search for a hidden trait in game. So if we were to release a collection based off a series, we would want to make the series traits searchable, so players could.
I think a lot of people have asked for that in general, and say how many TNG crew do I have? How many DS9 crew do I have? I think that's sort of for people that are fans of the series, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah, we've talked about it, and there would there'd have to be some obviously some more testing and tinkering around with that, because we have all the short names for them too, DAS, DS9. Excuse me, yada. So. As
the very handsome Canadian in chat, Nifty Mittens 11 points out, you know where they are searchable though? Bigbook.app. Thanks, folks. All right, next question. What ideas do you have around game features that allow players to, quote, use more of their crew? And that's something that has been asked since you started joining us years ago.
Yeah. tons. Some I don't want to talk about because they're actually still might be happening or are in development. I may tease something later on regarding that. But
can you talk about ones that are definitely not coming?
Oh, that would be interesting, actually, to see what, what's on the cutting room floor, as it were.
We've had some bad ideas, but but I don't know.
Bad ideas. I'm full of them constantly.
But bad ideas can always be tinkered and adjusted to create a good idea. So I don't want to share anything there. Okay. But
fair enough.
But I do want to say that it is, and we know it it's a big thing with all of our players now, especially our veteran players. That like usability of crew and using more crew and leveraging your deep collection of crew. That's something that we're taking a very deep look at. And you can expect the next feature, the next two features to be focused around that.
Okay, a question not on the list. How devastated was Carmen when the Archer Mega did not win player vote in the last survey?
Honestly, he was upset. As soon as Shan posted the results, he was like, "Oh God, come on! Like, I just want more archers." So, he's a big Archer fan.
We do have now a tier 1 Captain Archer over at bigbook.app, so that can console him at least. All right, Low Cost Monkey asks, what is your idea of a perfect romantic evening?
I would say going out to dinner. I'm a huge foodie. I was talking to you guys before the stream. This is not really on the romantic side, but I'm a buffalo chicken wing connoisseur.
Oh, I'm aroused.
So
chicken wings. I'm there.
So my wife and I will travel around and find the best wings, and we'll do the same thing with hot and sour soup. I don't know why we both love hot and sour soup. And chowder, clam chowder.
Chowder.
So yeah, but
of course, the Pats fan would like chowder.
Born and raised in England.
Say it right.
I would say going out to dinner, having a nice glass of wine. Maybe snuggle up and watch a TV show or something.
Netflix and chill with some Star Trek TNG.
Exactly, yeah.
Best of both worlds. That gets you in the mood.
More like Bloodsport with the inimitable Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay. This one's from Genos Sedanian. And why did you give me this question? I know nothing about hockey. How did it feel when the Bills hung a perfect offensive performance on the Pats? This is some sort of sport.
Football,
this is sport.
By the
this
way,
is sport. This is extra sport. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was perfect, but
it was pretty damn perfect.
But it was, it is what it is. Like, to be honest, I didn't expect the Patriots to even make the playoffs last year, and so I was happy that they got there and made that push to get there.
That's the problem with the Patriots. They always just try and walk it in.
Yeah, they always try and walk it in off the pitch.
Yeah. What were they thinking?
Hole in one, touchdown.
Yeah, something like that.
Goalies. All right.
40 love.
Turley asks, my dream collection would be cards with pets like Picard and Number 1, or just animals like the whales, George and Gracie. Is there any chance you might consider something like this, which you alluded to earlier?
Yeah, little tidbit. The Primal collection that we released, I think it was in October. Originally, that was going to be the pets collection.
Oh wow!
We were gonna release a collection that was all crew with pets, but we had to scrap it because we didn't have a trait for that for just pet. It's way safer for us to release a collection that is associated with a trait. And we already had the Primal trait. And the vanity collections are harder to maintain too, and they take longer to create. And we always tend to miss one or two crew, which requires another fix and more investment after that. We have a better system for this now. We've been kind of figuring out what collections we want to do months in advance now. So it used to be 1 month in advance, but now we've changed things up a bit, and we're actually thinking out 3 or 4 months in advance.
Just on a side note, I think
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the pet collection would be an awesome band name, but please, yours is probably more poignant.
That is great. But the April collection is going to be displaced. So
Who'd have
the
thunk
new
it?
trait displaced.
Very nice.
In that case, I have a long list of trait audit that I need to release about all the crew you missed with the displaced trait.
Yeah,
I
Best
wish I
increase
was
that
kidding.
threshold.
Okay.
we did share that list with the community, right? We put them on the forums, and I know we did another internal review after that with player feedback involved as well.
Is there if I just jump in for a moment on the collections point of view? You mentioned with vanity collections that they're a little bit harder to do, which I imagine was part of the reason why the last one that you did was the oh god, what the holodeck episode with Bada Bing. That's
Bada
it.
Bing.
Thank you. I promise I play this game. And it was quite a unique one because it's only the second time in the history of the game that you've done a collection that rewards you with a unique crew. And this one was especially unique because you could only get one copy and have to sight them up the rest. Do you have data on just how much, like how players went after that collection, and has that sort of influenced your decisions in terms of stat boosters versus more unique and vanity collections?
Yeah, we've kind of tinkered around with that. We've done since we started to do a collection every month, we've been just gathering data on releasing collections different ways, right? And having different reward structure in them. We did end up getting good data back on that one. The one that I think we got really good data back on was the tripled one, where we created a new triple trait, and then we released the triple collection. We had the triple mega arc. Then we got really good data on that. Throughout the whole mega, it seemed like everyone was engaged. They wanted to collect all the crew because it was part of that brand new collection. And so, to be honest, that's why we're trying it again with the displaced with this displaced trait. But it is a much bigger investment for us to roll them out that way. But yeah, I mean, we've been trying different things. We like to kind of keep it fresh, I guess.
I have to ask this, or Namer will fire me from the big book. But so we had this apology collection a while back, where you added the resourceful collection that has almost 200 crew in it, and that's a huge collection. Is there kind of an upper limit to where you say, all right, we're not doing a human collection because there's just too many of them? And what kind of range are you looking at there?
Yeah, when we first started to do a collection every month, we were kind of tinkering around with that. We would do some collections that were smaller, like less than 20. Then we would do some that were 120, 130. So I think from what we're trying to do now, or at least a little more of a focus, is trying to keep them a little on the smaller side. There are a bunch of crew that currently are not in collections, but I think we want to try to keep them a little more on the smaller side, to I guess a little more. You get a little more reward for targeting specific crew, and so that's what we've been thinking about, and that's not set in stone too. I'm thinking every few months, I'm sure we'll have a collection release that is a little more generous with a little bigger pool. But we want to try to just give more value to all crew. So I think, yeah.
All right. A question now from Defer. It was mentioned in the previous Q&A. I'm sure my memory is failing me, so it'll have to be one of the many. Any further thoughts on having community rewards across all event types as opposed to just Galaxy?
Yeah, we still like the idea. I think I said that last time as well. It's on our list, but we have a bunch of other things that are currently a higher priority and take priority. But it's still something that we're thinking about.
By the way, this is probably a good time to mention this, if I'm dumb enough to mention it all. We have a impromptu game now in the Timelines Talks Discord called Bengo instead of Bingo. So every time you give an answer that people have anticipated, they cross that little mark off the board and continue playing.
No.
If anyone has scored a bingo already, you can collect your reward in Discord after the stream.
I like to imagine that the card is just like Bengo, and then like the O is your face from when Idol blew up with the photon torpedo.
Man, that was like a year ago. Come on.
It's iconic, man. A question now from Chris Tian. What harm could it do to add models or challenges to keep balance in the game? I think more charitably, this could be expressed. Could you elaborate on what problems that could cause?
Yeah, so I think character level, we can take a look at that, adding more. But I mean, it is very low priority for us. As for challenges, I mean like achievements. I would like us to extend that, or extend some of them. But like I said earlier, there would have to be some additional testing, some additional fine tuning there to make sure that it would roll out fine. Though that's in the same boat, it's lower priority. But I think there would also be a UI change required to do that as well, because I think we did cap that out at 99. So we'd have to spend. Yeah, it's not a small task, but
I think a big one that's been asked about for a long time is the VIP level, and since that involves cold hard cash, is that something that you've ever considered bumping up, or you just are happy to leave that limit where it is at VIP 14?
I mean, we've talked about it when we develop new features, as in like, maybe we can give a certain VIP level player a little more flexibility in a certain feature or whatnot. We really haven't touched
Warp 20.
Yeah.
Can we warp 100 for skirmishes?
Oh,
yeah.
Please.
But yeah, we really haven't touched or added anything to the VIP system, and that's not currently on our radar as in the moment.
Okay, a very frequently asked question from Jackson, Cranky, and Gandozer. Why can't we search for crew and arena like we do in skirmishes? Why can't we search by traits for voyages? Oracle Ben, what about giving us the ability to search for crew and voyages? We can sort by skills, but by searching name or trait would be greatly helpful.
Yeah, we have a ticket for this. Excuse me. We would like to add that functionality to all of our features.
That beer's coming back on both of us right now.
Yeah, it is. But only some of the features currently have it. It would be really nice to have. I think if we ever go back and revamp any of those features, like if we were to revamp Voyages, I think we would include those changes in there. Or maybe a toggle that only shows the traded crew that got a bonus for that seat or something like that. There's this game is 6 years old and there's still so much to do. Yeah.
Can I just jump in because we're talking about Voyages? Ben, you do play this game. I've seen your account. I've seen you post something. Have you ever hit a 12-hour voyage?
12-hour with a revive I have, but not natural.
But not a natural 12-hour.
I have not. Not the
We'll
natural.
celebrate you later, Stars.
We'll get to that. He's all natural.
Okay, we're not even halfway done, so let's get cracking. King Amal Farouk has a series of suggestions, so we'll do these one at a time. Can you create an event combining voyaging with expedition, where instead of dilemmas you send away teams?
Yeah, how are you reading our minds? This has actually been an idea of ours for a long time, and this idea that we actually really, really like. And the more we talk about it, the more that we get excited about it. We actually did have a design pitch for this. That was one of the things I mentioned earlier with a new event type. This was one of those things. But due to time constraints, we ended up going in a different direction for that feature. We did not go the event route for that planned feature, but I would love to add another event type eventually. Expedition events 2.0. There are some design elements that we like from expedition events, but from a design and functionality elements, it needs more design and tweaking and rebuilt. But we really like the idea of sending a crew on a voyage, and then coming across an away mission and having to only use those crew on the voyage, right? So, and it gives a little bit of freshness to that as well. It's kind of a mix of, it's like part shuttle mission, but there's a little more active gameplay there. Where I think if we were to design it right, you could really min max it, and get extra VP during that, away team. I think that could be pretty cool. So that's something that we're thinking about.
Okay, second question. I think this was already answered. Can you make it so we can sell any items for credits? And I think you said that there's no plans to turn items into honor or credits or anything like that. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have plans for that.
Okay. Can you expand ration buying so that multiple rations are created when converting stuff to rations? So you can turn unwanted items into replicator rations. Can we do that in bulk, essentially?
Yeah, this was assigned to, I think, 2 previous clients and ended up having to get cut from those clients because of time constraints. So it's something we know it's a really big QOL thing that we want to get to. Still on our list.
Thank you, everyone. That's redeeming the change glasses. Thanks. And that's one of your favourites, Ben.
I'm glad everyone else is
I'm sorry, I haven't got my sunglasses down here at the moment. They're upstairs. Excuse me while I just cough my guts up. Still getting over the COVID. Genos Edanian asks, have you considered changing the fuse/immortalize objectives in the weekly objective events to something else? This requires either deliberately holding on to event crew and not fusing/immortalizing them for their event, or fusing/immortalizing duplicate low rarity crew. Slots are a crunch for many players, and having to hold on to up to 3 to 4 copies of a crew just for this objective is very limiting.
Yeah, we have heard your feedback on this loud and clear, and on that objective event specifically, we are taking a look at that and looking at changing that.
Okay, this question from multiple people, Ranarian and Navark and Sunkatse Siete. Are there any new game modes in developments?
Yes, one in active development. That will be our biggest feature release since crew retrieval. And we are starting very, very early pre-production on a feature after that. So organizing and generating KPI goals and figuring out where we want to go with that second feature, but figuring out what holes there are in the game and problems that we want to fix with those features. But the one in active development, all that pre-pro stuff is done. We're set on what we're doing, and we're hoping to release that in Q2.
Okay, just to expand on that very briefly.
Oh, no, we ain't expanding nothing. Tell us about this in Q2, which starts in 7 days. So, Ben, what can you tell us about this exciting new feature?
I should have said late Q2.
Oh, okay. So what can you tell us about the new feature?
I go into it a little bit later on. Let's keep on going through some of these questions.
Thank you for keeping our viewer count up. That's all I can say.
Also, I think I know what it is. I think we're finally getting Picard.
Picard, yes.
Finally given.
Okay, and just to expand, what's the future of timelines? What new? You just asked that question. What new features should players expect by the end of the year? Maybe sort of a number of what kind of plans, how many different features, sort of where what the end of 2022 will look like compared to now.
Yeah, I guess I can go into it. The future is very bright for Star Trek Timelines. Now this is all estimations currently, so please take all this with a grain of salt. We are aiming to release the big feature I just talked about in late Q2 that leverages crew depth and ship depth, and is related to fleets. Another new feature in Q3, that's the one that we're looking at pre-production on now. That will also leverage crew depth, and then something else in Q4 that is undecided at this time. Though I do want to iterate, things change all the time, so take this all with a grain of salt. because I've said that before, and I've been called a liar after that.
Will we be seeing any other sources of quantum in the next year, Ben? I need to know.
I don't know. I can't say anything at this time. But yeah, we have plans for continued feature support of Star Trek Timelines for a long while. So we know that players really want more things to do with their crew roster, and have been thinking about that for a while. So we were happy to really start addressing it. And I know I think it was last week, Otto. I think you said that they're just in milking it mode now. They're just releasing features that are only revenue. And
man, you're dropping bombs today.
But I got to defend myself. I got to defend the team. But yeah, we're still in active development and still creating features that are going to roll into next year. So
thanks, Otto. Sorry, my twin brother Otto was just here on the stream, but I'm here now, guys. Sorry I'm late. Let's get the stream started.
Everyone's wrong once in a while. It's okay, but yeah, I mean we have continued support. We have things planned for the long run that we're really excited for. And I do want to point it too that when planning stuff for the year, I was figuring out what we needed to do for this year in order to make sure that we were in a good spot, game wise and for the company. And I know the past two features really haven't been the most exciting ones, but I wanted to get those out early, get them done with, just so we can focus on the fun stuff here. So. Yeah, so the next two features are going to be leveraging that crew depth.
So, folks, if you'd like to help fund support these wonderful ideas and features, buy the Super Premium campaign, available now for only $14.99 in the Time Portal.
Yeah,
I'm going to get so many DMs about that, by the
way. I appreciate the shout out. What do you guys think of the pass? The adjustment there.
Do I need to say it?
Okay.
Do I have to say it?
On.
Do I have to say it? Do I have to say the words?
So,
Starbase components?
Oh boy, here we go.
Everyone's saying it. Everyone is saying it. There's one of the.
You know what?
Else before complain.
I'm gonna jump in first, and I'm gonna say I think it was a smart decision, as everyone absolutely loves campaigns. Campaigns were incredibly well received. I can only imagine how well they did for you financially. They were probably one of the better editions. They are probably the best LTO in the entire game. Yeah, they are LTO. Apart from the monthly card, obviously. And I can absolutely see the logic in targeting that and being like, I think that was a very. I will say that's a very good Galaxy Brain method of going at it. I will give you that.
Thank you.
There's a wonderful Photoshop that Captain Idle did of what the future of Timelines looks like, and it's got 7 different campaign tracks going all at once. So, the value never stops growing.
I think we're done after the third one. I don't think we're going to be changing anything there.
Noting that down for a future Q&A.
Ben promised no more campaign tracks. I think everyone's in agreement, yes, that compared to the slew of LTOs that rotate in and out, and that the campaign track is better value than that. And yeah, it's similar to the subscription model from other games. So that's up to the player to decide how much they want to put into it. But if they do want to put into it, that's probably the way to go.
But now with that stuff gone, we can focus on leveraging crew depth. So what you're really excited about?
All those Starbase components on.
We should just extend those rooms too. You want things to do with Starbase components?
Yes.
Well, if you're going to give them to us like that, yeah, sure.
I know a guy.
All right.
No,
okay.
I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising anything, but we'll see.
All right. I'm going to steal the mic away from my noted co-host, Ottoman 2001 and Elderly Idol. And this is a question from Veterinary Fly. And I'm actually really interested in the answer to this question. Which main characters you feel are the most difficult to make cards for, and why? I feel like this maybe was more of a question for Carmen, but I'd be interested to hear your perspective on this, considering the back and forth you had about the Archer Mega, potentially.
Yeah, I think this is another thing that we should definitely talk about when Joe's on the stream next week. He'll have a much better idea to that. But I think what's most difficult is the timeline originals because we're just creating it, right? And I think that's the one that's some of them that are the most difficult. You have to think about the existence of the crew. Why is it here? Why is it in the timeline? Yada yada. But Shan came up with a really good timelines original the other day that I want to like rush order because it's so awesome, the thought of it. So really hoping we get another one soon.
So if you're interested, list of 20 wolves that could be added that are all time.
So since you did mention Joe's watching the stream, Joe, you're going to be on the charity stream in a few weeks. Here's your homework. I want to hear, because I've been thinking about this for years now, I want you to bring one backstory to one of the original crews, augment Commander O'Brien or whoever you want. Bring some kind of backstory that you can tell players about. This is why the car the way it is the way it is. Here's his story and that kind of thing, because that's something all we can get in game really is the flavor text, and a lot of crew don't have that. So bring the story with you, and I'll be interested to hear it.
Big book creator Arik Soog.
I engineered a fleet of no-name namers to code it for me.
I'm going to go ahead and imagine the answer to this one is a straight up I have to ask. Eric Nelson asks, has WRG been privy to any info about the new Section 31 spin-off that they are able to share?
No, we cannot talk about any. Yeah. I'm not authorized to talk about anything.
Can neither confirm nor deny the existence of Section 31. Well, how appropriate.
I plead the fifth. That's a trap question.
It's okay. I can see the sniper dot. It's okay. It's fine.
But what about Prodigy?
You're playing with a man's life here. Navarch asks, here's my question. How does WRG decide the objectives for objective events, and why are there locked performance steps and others?
Yeah, that comes down to design decisions. I can't really speak much to that, but what I can say is figuring out what arch you want to take the player through, right? What kind of flow you want to take them through. What features you want to have them go down first in order to, create some sort of narrative to why you're doing this, right? So I think that's one of the things, and just building out the tech as well to kind of mix it up, right? Like not have all the objectives always locked behind the previous one, but kind of mix it up and have a branching, a tree of objectives that you can go down. So adding some variety.
That'd be cool. I'd be quite happy with that. Because people have been talking about the idea of they were talking about a mega arc, but potentially just for an objective and being able to choose a side in a factional dispute and having rewards differ potentially could be interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely really interesting. I know some other games do that too, but that's it's interesting.
All right, a question from Duke. Are you still planning to introduce new Voyage exclusives, or have you already and we just haven't found them?
No, we have not. I think last time I said that we had one or two that were in development, or you guys reminded me of that. I don't remember saying that. I probably did say it.
We might be gaslighting you completely.
You might be doing that. But we did come up with a few ideas of potential Voyage exclusive crew. We haven't done anything past that. I don't think we've ordered them. I don't think we've created art for them or anything. But and if we were to release new Voyage exclusive crew, I feel like it would be smart of us to also release some new dilemmas or something, or a new chain there, right? So yeah, it would be more work than just kind of adding a new crew into a loot table or something.
So folks, if you do need help with those long voyages, getting those exclusive crew, you can buy the super premium campaign for just $14.99 right now and get Voyage revival tokens to help you with that goal. Cold asks.
There's 4 of them in there? Yeah.
4 or 5, yeah. Equal sign lowercase letter J equal sign cold asks, any update on solving the stuck Voyages bug? We're going to ask you this every time you come on the show.
Yeah, in the 822 client, we added some more analytics to help us get some little more information on those things. I actually just got the bug the other day on my device and pinged an engineer and be like, fix it, look at it. So we're
now
still,
you know
we're
how
still,
it feels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've always known how frustrating it is. Like I said before on the stream, that we're all players of the game. The same issues you guys run into, we also run into. So yeah, we're still working on it. We've made some progress. We've added some more analytics. I think it was 2 previous clients. We had a potential fix in there that didn't seem to do the trick. But we're still looking at it with the addition of more analytics. I think we'll have some better odds there.
Okay, question from Peregrine, who asks, what's the story behind a chef being given special mention in the game credits?
I have no idea. This is probably before my time.
Ben had these questions 3 weeks in advance, folks, just so you know.
Yeah.
I
went through them all last night. So.
Just like me before an exam. I always thought it was a reference to Enterprise. How Shep is the character who kind of making sure the entire ship runs, but you never see it.
Could be.
That was that.
I'll have to ask. One of the initial devs.
One of the elderly devs.
Sure, one of them knows. The
veteran
veteran devs. You guys are never going to live that down, huh?
It's the internal accurate.
Okay.
It's just how we. Yeah. I'm just going to dig myself a deeper hole. So. Next question.
Do you have any names of players on the wall who you're like, don't interact with these players at all? Or like someone who never answer these questions? Yeah. Our pictures on the wall.
Thrown at us.
Not
that you can
publicly. No, I don't think we do. I know. Shan's always very active on the forums, and she does tell me about some people that do tend to get on her nerves, but she's a professional. She does her job. So
I'm so sorry, Shan. I know I'm on that list. Okay, let's keep rolling.
Sawpoint asks, can we get some variety of ships to blow up in the skirmish events? Except for the final ship battle, the rest are generally a reshuffle of the same.
We can forward this back to the design team for feedback, and I'll let you know. Okay. But I do want to say we're like a little past halfway, and I have some questions I want to ask you guys. You guys are always drilling me with questions. I feel like I want to ask you some questions, so please take this very seriously.
No, I'm
We'll study them the night before you ask. Okay.
Question number 1: if you could supersize any animal and make it your pet, what would it be?
Oh my god.
A butterfly.
See, I was thinking dragonfly, personally.
Oh no,
dragonflies are awesome.
No, dragonflies are freaky. I had a huge one in my bathroom. It's twitching off. The cat got it. It's horrible. It's too fleshy.
Yeah,
I'd go the reverse.
After you've been killed too.
I'd go the reverse, right? I'll go the reverse. If can I get something that is already massive and shrink it? And can I have like a small miniature giraffe? I would adore that.
That would be adorable, I have to say. That would be adorable.
Okay, I'm going to go left
deep in thought.
I'm going to go left field and say worm, because I think it would make a great pillow. It's very soft and squishy, and I don't think it has like big teeth that could eat me, right? So I'm going to go with worm. I'll take a supersized worm.
Okay, if any animal could talk, what species would be the rudest of them all?
My cats. Definitely my
cats.
Cats
are bitches.
Cats,
oh my goodness.
It's like every time I go to its bowl to give it food, it looks at me and goes, "What the fuck is this?"
Okay,
I'm going to say honey badger. I'm going to go with the left or right.
if you can merge two different animals to create the ultimate animal, what two animals would it be?
Oh God.
Thinking like a squid polar bear, kind of like a squid wolf, like a kraken wolf. That would be interesting.
I think I got those when I was 5.
Or an elephant butterfly. The elephant's ears are wings.
Tuvok and Neelix together?
What if?
Thank you, Chad, for that one. It's got to be something with claws, right? There's something with claws.
I would think so.
I think it's going to have to be my cat with that miniature giraffe I was talking about. I think that would be it. It's just a furry small miniature. I'm sorry, I can't get it out of my head now.
That poor cat. I wonder why it doesn't like you.
Let's cross a Mugatu with something. With the horn and the poisonous.
With Robert Beltran.
I would like to merge a mouse and a...
And what, sorry? You did your Max Headroom.
A mouse and a dog.
So that you have like
dog.
Mouse dog.
Yeah. Mouse dog.
Instead of barking, it just goes...
All right, chat says... Sorry, chat says owl and bear, tiger and eagle, a cat and bird.
That's dangerous.
Is this going to be the hybrid fusion pets collection that we're going to be getting in the future?
We're getting evolved Janeway again.
I've always
trying to connect with us as a human, and you're like, yours about you.
Yeah. Those are all the questions I have.
Okay.
I feel like I know you guys. I feel like I know you guys.
Fantastic.
A lot.
Idol, what's your idea of the perfect romantic evening?
One where the wife is watching television. I can do what I want.
That's going to get clipped, and that's going to be part of your divorce proceedings.
The funny thing is, she'd probably say something similar along the lines of where I can sit and do a jigsaw and he's away somewhere else. So there we go. Okay. Anyway, right. Sawpoint asks, "Can we get? I already asked you. Can we get?
Yes.
Can we get some more variety of ships in the skirmish events? We're bored of all the ones we keep blowing up." And you already said you can
just
toss
asked
on the
that
team.
one.
We have had
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, you've distracted me with your animals. Genos Daniel asks, regarding community engagement. Last year, Tilting Point, WRG's parent company, released Star Trek Legends, and they also had an official Discord. I know having that real-time engagement with TP staff and being able to log bugs and share feedback on an immediate basis was extremely welcome. And I think for Tilting Point as well, would Wicked Realm Games consider something like this, like an official Discord where people can sort of respond to bugs with the community members, sort of on a a sort of casual official basis?
Yeah, we're not evaluating that Discord at this time, but we do see the value in it. Right now we have our forums. I think everyone knows that, but that it also takes more attention to run that stuff too, and Shan is our community member and one of our community members, and she already has to manage a lot when it comes to forum posts and managing all of our socials and all that stuff. So it's just not in the not in the resources right now, but we do see the value in it, and maybe if we were to make moving forward as a company, I think it for Wicked Realm it would be. I think it would be smart to have an official Discord.
I think looking at sort of where the community posts a lot of its sort of content and feelings and thoughts, over the forums and the Discord, and say like the Facebook group, I would say the Discord's probably the most sort of real time that you will get for where things are happening and where the actual active Discord, where the active the Discord is happening, the communication is happening with that. Just my thoughts.
Well, sometimes in game when I make a live change, I'll make sure it's good on my device, and then I'll look at Discord. Be like, all right, what's the first gut reaction to this thing, and and then I'll go to the forums. But
I feel obliged to point out that we had 10 pages of questions for you. One question from WRG forums, everything else from Discord. So I think you do have a very active, passionate player base there on Discord that you could tap into.
Genos' last question. Can we please get Admiral Vance? I'm happy to coordinate a letter-writing campaign to Oded Fair if it's a rights issue.
He is in the pipeline.
It's going to make a lot of people very happy.
Is this like Alaskan pipeline-sized length? What kind of pipeline? Short-term pipeline
Didn't they just
or
turn off all
long-term
those pipes to
pipeline?
Russia?
I don't think it's as long as the pipeline for a new series. Adding lower tax, but it's not going to be too long.
Yeah. Ronaldo asks, please make Vance a good card. No, I think you're just asking the world there, but there we go.
Command dipsec.
I'll put in a good word. Okay.
All right. Next up is a question from Dr. X316. Hi, Doc. Here's one of my ideas. Every year we get a Player's Choice Mega. Can we get a collection also, please? Very bland.
That was, can we get a Player's Choice collection, please?
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. And we would like to try that in the future. I don't know when we would try it, but we would like to experiment with that in the future.
And this is actually something that we have asked Ben on our own. He's pretty gracious with his time. We do have a channel where we'll plan these sorts of shows and stuff, and sometimes we'll bring ideas to him, and he's like, "Yeah, sure, guys, I'll pass it on." But this is one that we're stumping for you guys. We want you guys to have a voice, so Player's Choice Collection would be pretty cool.
That'd be neat. Another one for Sedanian, man. This guy never shuts up. How have the player reaction from the Bada Bing collection and the legendary award of the GOAT impacted your plans for future vanity collections? I think we kind of answered this question already, but
yeah, I think we went over that. Like I said before, they're more time consuming. Though this one did perform pretty well for us. We don't have a vanity collection currently planned. So we always have ideas.
Is there a episode that you particularly like that you would maybe let's see a vanity episode themed around, like a set of crew that could be put into like a particular favorite episode of yours?
I don't know. That's a loaded question.
Would it just be Picard?
You designed the cab for Romulan Picards. That two-part of unification we have in game: Romulan Picard, Romulan Data, Ambassador Spock, Commander Sela. I think you have quite a few from there.
The Praetor, Romulan Spock.
I think there was another one that the team was talking about recently. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay, while we wait for them to ping you, let's move on. From Green Javelin, who has 6 questions. I thought we should have put a limit on this. Number 1, any consideration for a Gauntlet-based event?
No.
No. Okay.
Love it.
Is there a crew not in game that you'd like to see appear, and why?
Yes, probably a data.
A data. Any specific data?
No. A data.
Okay.
Not Professor? No? Okay, anyway.
Oh, God. Pick of that scab. Any hints on the next Gauntlet exclusive reward?
We know our next Gauntlet crew will be either a TAS crew or a crew from Voyager. So we're, whittle down.
So can you break that down a little bit? So you're going by series first, and then you look for what character, or you look to fill a skill set, or how do you sort of go through the process?
It's a mix of all those things. I know we took a look at what Gauntlet crew we already had, and then we tried to come up with some ideas that would kind of mix that up and change up the skills. And then change up the series as well. So that's the route that we ended up taking.
Okay, what theme will the next mega event be based upon?
Blasted from the Past is the title of the mega.
How do you not go with Blasted from the Pasted? Come on, you can rhyme it that way. It's not too late.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
So I wonder how that would even localize to across other languanges.
That's be tricky.
Yeah, so that's why we usually don't go down that route.
Can you localize to Klingon?
I think one time we did. It was actually one of my favorite blunders, I guess. is that we had one of the baseball packs, which was batter up, and then in German it was translated to dough up, like dough batter. So it was just dough up, and I thought that was the funniest thing. And I was like, "Can we just leave it?" And I'm like, "No, we gotta fix it." I'm like, "Come on, that's dough up. Like, what does that even mean?" So, that's a good one.
Okay, so blast in the past. Spitballing here. You can nod or shake your head. Displace trait possibly. Temporal agent trait possibly. Okay. He's just stretching his neck. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a little different kind of question. How is morale behind the scenes? How does WRG stay positive? And how many of you guys read the forums?
How is morale behind the scenes?
How's morale behind the scenes? How does WRG stay positive? The forum dig was, just for me.
Yeah, we try to stay, we try to be very supportive of each other, and we do cut each other some slack too when things don't always go our way. As a team, we move very fast. We release a lot of content in a small amount of time, over very long stretches, and we never miss a week, right? So, we luckily, as a company, we have great policies, in play to, if you need a day, you can take a day kind of thing. So obviously things like that are awesome, especially, after multiple client releases back to back. It's like, oh man, I need a day. I need just a day to myself. So, and we're always thinking about the future too, and the future for this game still remains very bright with things that we want to do and changes that we want to make. So that kind of puts us in a good mindset, and especially when we do release features that get very positive results and very positive feedback from you guys, goes a long way as well.
I just want to say as an aside, I know not everyone can watch the show live. The three of us are in the EU. Sometimes it's hard for the US guys. We got a sweet message from Ben the other week, said, I know with all the news internationally, I just hope you guys are staying safe, and we really appreciate that. So in terms of staying positive, that was great. And the last question from Green Javelin, will there be any collections for hats, pets, or others? I guess we kind of covered that, but...
I can't believe you missed the opportunity of both. A pet with a hat.
Hat pet.
So hats, pets, or others.
And pointing.
Pointing.
That's
That's
the holy trinity.
One or two fingers, either or. It means you get Dexter in
hats,
there.
pets, others, pointing. No, pets maybe.
So no hat collection. Regency Riker is out of a job. Sorry, buddy.
God damn it.
Yeah, I think that we have a lot. How do you identify what a hat is? Like, there's a lot of things that go on people's heads, right? Like, so that's just screaming like not a disaster, but a lot of communication, I guess, from players around that.
The premium track crew this month is Facer Rios, who is wearing a hat. So you missed opportunity to add an extra collection to him, but it is what it is.
Okay, because I'm the one that's usually got to bring the bad news. These ones from Avitrek and Frisky Dingo. This is 3.
Try to word it nicely for Ben.
No, I'm going to read it exactly off the screen as it comes. I do not beat about the bush here. How are crew selected for the honor hall? How did you screw up Worf so badly? Why was he so bad on release? Was this an error? And why did he jump so much in the update? Was this due to player feedback?
This was a process breakdown, actually. We had Worf pre-built, and prior to release of him, we knew that we wanted him in the honor hall. We made a few changes to him, in the forms of a buff, because we made the crew a few months ago, so we wanted to buff him if he was going to be honor hall crew. Buffed him. That change actually never ended up getting into the build, and so we released the pre-change work of Worf. We did address that after the fact, but he was never intended to go out that way. That was a slip up on our end. the player feedback did signal us that the intended change did not get into the build, and so we have made adjustments to our processes there, and make adjustments there, because it was a kind of quick turnaround of something that we're like, oh, we should release Honor Hall crew now. So it was a quick change, and a couple of things were up in the air, and there was a slip up there, but that's the story behind that Worf.
Stars.
Idle. Yeah, idle.
Oh, it is me. Sorry. No, I've scrolled too far in the document.
COVID brain.
That's fine. I just like some dead air so much. We need a moment just to chill. Okay, Captain Mackenzie Calhoun from the New Frontier novels asks, could we please see the rewards from Arena get updated? Credits and ship parts aren't that exciting. Perhaps just to copy the random rewards from skirmish events and provide honor and occasional single portal pulls for individual ship battles. And maybe some quantum for the rank rewards.
We did update the ship schematics given in Arena this year. I think we revamped that and we changed all of them. So it's much improved from the previous year. But we can't add those things specifically, like the skirmish loot, like you suggested, because it just wouldn't be balanced, right? There's a cost to the PvP ticket, and there's at least a limit with with the amount of in a skirmish event with getting that, and that's tucked behind some dilithium as well. So, but yeah, we did adjust the rewards there, made them a little better, and we have seen more engagement in Arena. So, yeah.
All right. Next up from Low Cost Monkey, are there any Easter eggs in the game that have yet to be displayed?
I don't think there are. I think you guys found them all. Doesn't mean I couldn't add another one.
Yeah, tangentially, are there any ideas? Are there any ideas that you guys have had about adding something that's not purely gameplay, but that might be fun for players to fiddle around with?
Before I brought ciphers and Morse code to you guys, I really wanted to put that in game or do something with a description of an item and have the first letter of each word spell something out, like something that you guys would never find out. But we haven't done that. Yeah.
Something to keep in mind, to be sneaky about, I see. All right. Next up, from Nifty Mittens, Ben, what's your opinion on using butyric acid in chocolate?
Right, so that's like the Hershey.
Yeah, it's the thing that tastes kind of sour, but Hershey adds it in their chocolate for a distinctive flavor.
I like the real stuff, the real chocolate.
Get the real shit, yeah.
The real stuff.
I had to look up what this even was, because I was like, butyric acid?
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Yeah,
but Stars, we come from countries. We come from countries where chocolate is actually chocolate.
So Ben, I know you love travel. Have you been through Europe and tried the delicacies there, and then gone back to the States and been like, oh, I really miss this or that?
There's been like a few select things, like I went to London a few years ago. The food in the at least the Chinatown section of that was awesome, and then just the food of the UK as well. But that
you can tell us our food sucks. It's fine.
I didn't mind it at all. Although what's the
sticky toffee pudding? Yeah,
that thing. Yeah.
It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. All right. Next up, from Jenna Sedanian again. Do you like Mac Jones? I think he's some kind of famous equestrian.
He is a quarterback, and yes, I think he's a franchise quarterback that the team can build around for the future. Though the Patriots haven't really done anything during this free agency, so I'm kind of like bumming, but we'll see.
All right, a question from Ronaldo. You mentioned it might be interesting to improve the Gauntlet rewards eventually. Any plans to do so in the short term, let's say 2022?
I wouldn't, not in the short term, but I wouldn't rule it out for the year. But it seems unlikely right now.
So you love blue trainers, is what you're saying?
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough. All right. Idle, I hope you're ready with this image.
I
It's
am.
integral to the next.
always
From
ready.
Captain Mackenzie Calhoun, can you ask Ben to pick his favorite Star Trek character from this tier list? So you have 50 different
that's
characters here. For podcast listeners, it's a tier list of Chakotay's, ranging from tier Chakotay to tier Chakotay. I didn't ask this question, folks.
That's a really tough choice. Really tough choice.
I'm not
There's
saying
some duplicates in there too.
Yeah, don't pick apart at it.
Corners.
It falls apart if you.
I mean, we're missing the Timelines Talks Award, Chakotay Award winner. What was it? Shirtless horseback riding Chakotay. He's not in there.
Yeah, horse taming
That's the
Chakotay.
one.
I'll send you that image later, Ben, if you're curious. Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for. Okay.
All right, Captain Calhoun, you got your shout out. Let's move on.
Walt Koenig asks, are there ever going to be any new Grey Crew or an expansion of Green Crew beyond the occasional additions? I mean, we've got Leader Pav coming this week, but I think Grey Crew is something that intrigues people more often, not because they're useful, but because they've sort of languished at the however 25 there are at the moment.
Yeah, probably not. With like a great expansion of those, we'll probably stick to like the occasional, but we probably won't do a new 1-star crew. I guess from the business side, the value is not really there, to be honest. It doesn't really make the much business sense to do that unless we, were to, maybe make some adjustments to like cadet, our cadet system.
There could be a dumb, fun kind of. Here's this random art we've got in the backlog we haven't used for like 3 years. Let's just put it as a 1-star crew with just this rubbish set of traits, so then just people could have a laugh at. I kind of see this where.
We do have a few crew that have not seen the light today, at least on the art side.
Well, let me just say, because I'm sure you guys have a big whiteboard of list of crew who you're going to release eventually, and you work through them and add them here and there. Find one on the list who has like 1 billion traits, like 15 traits, who's in 7 collections, and then you'll see how much people will spend for a gray crew that's in like 7 collections.
Oh god, that feels so dirty. What is wrong with you?
That's how you make a crew desirable. Yeah.
Okay, this one is from Around the Campfire. Will we ever see Arena exclusive crew? Or a revamp of Arena in general? And this is related to the last question. But for example, the power of passive bonuses boosted by weighting them in the equation.
Arena exclusive crew, probably not. But I am leaving a revamp of the PvP open. Maybe a rewards revamp. But yeah, not too sure. Players tend to like shiny new features. Typically, like revamping an old feature doesn't perform as well. So that's just, and that's just not for Star Trek Timelines. That's across the gaming industry. Is a brand new feature piques interest. Gets players back into the game, or continue. Gets players to continue to play.
I do remember on last year's charity stream when we asked the 4 of you what kind of new feature you'd like. All of Joe, Fury, and Carmen all said they would like to revamp existing content. So shout out to you hardworking devs that want to improve existing systems. I feel you.
It's a real back and
Just over
forth
here,
tonight,
like, I
isn't
can't say anything.
There's an energy.
The voice of the voiceless. I'm here for all the people that aren't allowed on this stream.
We're going at it today, Otto. I don't know what's going on, but
Dude, you called me out for what I said last week, so it's game on now.
Why are mommy and daddy fighting? All right. Okay. A question.
Dude,
a question
I have this much left. Okay, so there's no filter left. Go ahead, Stars.
Fair enough. From Low Cost Monkey, this is something that has actually been fixed, and I appreciate it. It was irking me a little bit, and I imagine it probably irked a few of you in the office as well. Why was there a missing dash in between 1701 and D on the new Enterprise loading screen?
Yeah, I blame Joe. It was addressed with 830. I don't even think Joe was involved with that, to be honest. But
Blame him anyway.
I'm just going to throw Joe under the bus.
He's the art guy. If something goes wrong, it's all on him. Look,
Right under the bus.
As a tangent to that, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Sometimes I'll roll over at 4 a.m. and just, want to do a Voyage dilemma or something.
Oh, yeah.
That loading screen, like, sears my eyeballs.
Yeah, can we get dark mode on that?
Dark.
We got that feedback too.
Okay.
So I think we already have a splash screen already picked out for our next client, so it is not as bright.
I mean, it is very good looking. It's a really nice looking load screen, but like Otto says, when
you
you
hate it.
you play it in the dark, you're just like, holy shit, this is bright.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Maybe
All
you
of
should
your
get like a proper night's sleep. How about that?
your entire player base is like a bunch of mole people who have their eyes fused shut, and they need a dark mode on everything.
Listen, we'll be talking about that during the Mind, when we're talking about Mind Mental Health Charity, about waking up in the middle of the night because you can't sleep. We'll be going there, don't worry.
Look, I touched grass today, okay? It's all right.
Is that a euphemism? Anyway, next question, please.
We're on page 7 of 8. Let's keep going.
From Henning 1105. Hi Ben. Hi. We lately saw with the legendary Jabon's outfit the need to craft 5 items instead of the usual 4. Why was that used, and shall we expect more costs of equipment in the future?
Yeah, we tried it out. We might not do it in the future. In the end, the relative credit cost was on par with other legendary equipment. But it was something we were kind of playing around with. But
just a little bit of an experiment. All right, Jenna. So I've been ragging on you all night, but I had to give you props for asking this. Are we ever going to get Picard?
So that's a Picard march.
Yeah.
Yes.
And which would lead into Robert April as the next month.
But so I do like that idea, though. We already have Picard Day in June that we do something for every year. So maybe a March maybe next year for Picard.
It will happen. It will happen.
There's so many confused people out there going, what the fuck is Picard?
If you can do a giant pink tribble in the honor hole, surely you can do Picard without... Okay, from General McDuck, will there ever be another way to obtain Voyage revival tokens outside of event threshold rewards? Maybe as part of an objective event. Well, General McDuck, for only $14.99, you can get as many Voyage revival tokens as you'd like.
Yeah, we just added them into the ultimate track, but other than that, we don't have any plans. I could see us potentially maybe adding one or at least a heavy limit in like an expedition, an objective event, but probably not anywhere else.
From Revolutionary Damar, what is the airspeed of an unladen swallow?
24.
24 what?
Just 24.
24 speed.
24.
I'd be very impressed if you said African or European. I'd have been very impressed.
Yeah, Monty Python fan? No, I guess not. All right, from Racing Liners, are there any more themed vanity collections in the pipeline? Which I guess you've already touched on.
Yeah, not currently.
Okay, this one from Blue Angel. Could consideration be given to making the new crew rollout pace more sustainable? Crew quarters is a legacy setup. The gap between the two is constantly growing. Perhaps, as one possible solution, unfinished crew could be stored in a temporary vault or some sort of new feature.
Yeah, it's nothing planned along those lines right now, though. From the start of the game, it was designed that way, and this is a 6-year-old game too, so there are certain mobile tropes and mobile themes. The market has changed so much in over 6 years. Yeah, there's no plan for that currently. We're not going to be slowing down anytime soon for now, though there may be adjustments to much farther down the line of how we release new crew. Yeah.
Okay, this one's from Celine7. From Celine7. When designing the game, what do you consider the main motivation for veteran players in getting new characters, other than collecting for the sake of collecting, if that is a factor?
Yeah, collections, and we will be releasing new features, which I said earlier, that will be focusing on that. A lot of our feature development is focused around veteran player engagement and crew usability and crew depth. So that is something that we're moving forward on. And yeah, the main motivation is just having fun and using crew that you're getting, or a crew that you have accrued over time and spent resources and spent time on, and feeling value in using those crew. And so that's what we're trying to aim for with these, with the next feature.
Last one from Celine. Do you have any plans for changing existing events, for example, to require less hours of grinding to rank?
Yeah, not at this time. I think I said earlier too, if we were to make like a functional change to how events work, I don't think that would really go over well. So at this point, it's like, all right, well, we can't make changes to our existing events and the functionality there. So the only other route is to create a new event type. But yeah, I don't think we would change existing events at this time.
And just to tag onto that, I think in the past someone asked, would you consider changing the items required for galaxy crafting? And you said no. And it's, people spend a lot of time, when they call it, farming items ahead of time, and it would kind of be a bummer to see, I spent 100,000 chronotons to farm, and now they're changing the item requirements.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's something there to be said about familiarity, I guess, within like knowing what you're getting from week to week, or knowing what to expect from week to week, when coming to especially like competition like that.
Well, yeah, routine is very important for elderly players. They watch their show at 4:30 every day, and they don't like to deviate. So
they watch their show at 4:30 and they want to sleep by 5. So
yeah, it's Matlock at 3:30, and then The Price is Right at 4:30, and that's their routine, and that's what they stick
Timelines talks at 9:30, and by about 45 minutes in, they can fall asleep at last.
That's right, baby.
At last. All right. I believe these might be our final questions, and they from a trio. I believe I can kind of amalgamate from Spocklet, Chips, Black Knight, and No Name Namer. You've teased / mentioned boss ship battles with fleet assistance. Is that something you're still looking into? Can we look at something more active together to do as a fleet? Has WRG looked into fleet wars of any kind?
Yeah, how about it's something that we've looked into. But so far, like as for the fleet wars, we haven't found or landed on a design for that just yet that we're happy with. Though we might try at a later time, and we had a few pitches for that. As for the teased or mentioned boss ship battles with fleet assistance, is that something that we're still looking into? Yeah, so we've had design docs on that. Nothing was fully approved at the time, but just some ideas that we're moving forward on. We have ideas around fleets and stuff like that all the time, and just everywhere in the game, especially with Carmen. He's a idea factory. But for real, what can I say right now is that the feature we've been developing for a little while now involves fleet and crew depth and fleet participation. So we're all very extremely excited for this feature and can't wait to share more on it. We will be able to share more at Star Trek Chicago, April 8th to the 11th. which I will be there. WRG is going to have, and Tilted Point's going to have a presence there. We're going to be having a playable demo of this new feature on the show floor that contains the core loop of it. So we're very excited for that. We've been prepping that for a while. So I think after Star Trek Chicago, we'll probably do more of a bigger announcement, maybe more of a sneak peek at the feature. But yeah, it involves fleets, big ships, crew depth, ship depth, fleet participation, and it's already starting to look really, really awesome. So we're really excited about it.
So 2 questions pertinent to that. One, can we get like a guy with a camcorder to record some footage for WRG's YouTube channel of people like trying that out at Chicago?
Actually, I know
I'm
a few
sure
people are going to Chicago, so I'll get them on the case.
Yeah. I'm sure we can arrange something like that for sure.
And number 2, will we see the return of the fleet leaderboard? I think there were some API changes recently that made it impossible for players to pull that data. So will we see a WRG sponsored fleet leaderboard now that we may have some kind of fleet participation event?
I don't think so. I don't think that's currently planned.
Okay.
I'm kind of confused why your API is not pulling.
We'll talk about it.
I don't know, because I don't think there's been any intended changes on our end around those things. Yeah. So I mean, other announcements that I have. We'll be on the stream next weekend for your charity stream, which we're really excited about. Joe and fan favorite Fury will be joining. Yeah, so we'll be answering some questions and chatting, taking more direct questions with the community, I think, as well. And I'd really like to also play that game of, you guys guess how long it takes to to develop certain things. How long does it take to create a crew? Yeah, I think that'd be pretty fun. So we got that going on. On the content side, First Contact Day, as in previous years, we will be celebrating First Contact Day in some fashion, including but not limited to a displaced collection, 5 free crew slots. We're going to be having a free pack celebrating Star Trek Chicago, a happy birthday pack for Sulu for George.
George Takei.
Yep. And that'll be on the 19th, and then we'll also be having 2 theme pack LTOs, which we've been kind of playing with here and there. The 5 pulls of the 650 pack for $10 that we've been kind of experimenting with, and also a few other things that I can't bring up right now. But so we have a bunch of stuff going on for that, and then as for Star Trek Chicago, we're going to be sponsoring the whole gaming area of Star Trek Chicago. So we'll have a demo. Like I said, we'll have a demo to show off. I will also be hosting a panel. So I will be presenting, the history of Star Trek timelines with feature highlights. What were the challenges with specific features? Why we made specific features? How players reacted. So a little bit of behind the scenes. Some creative stuff. So the process behind creating a new crew. From an idea to in-game and on screen, the stats of some of the features we have added, like the amount of crew that have been crafted, the number of events we have run, and just a bunch of deep dives into that stuff, and then also a section in getting to know the devs. So we'll have probably 3 to 5 devs total. Do a little like behind the scenes video, a few of our developers. Talking about what Star Trek means to them. What have been their favorite things working on Star Trek timelines, and their favorite memories and their greatest accomplishments and challenges. And then a sneak peek at something else, and some other announcements I can't talk about just now. But I also I did want to ask and see if there's enough interest for a meet and greet. and I figured it'd be pretty informal, and it would probably just be myself. But I would love to meet more of you all, and get to know you guys and interact with you guys more. So, I just wanted to gauge that interest. Feel free to post on the forums if that's something that you guys would like to do a meetup. We're really excited.
I think I'll be in the States like 2 months after Star Trek Chicago, so I think I'm just going to miss it, but otherwise I would have been there. A couple questions for you. Cranky in chat asks, will WRG have any representation at Star Trek London later this year, which I think mostly runs through October?
I think it's
September
this year. Yeah.
I'm sorry, September.
Yeah, it's very end of September. We haven't got started on that yet. If we were, we'd want to make sure that we would have a feature or something to show off, or to have some kind of presence there. So
live timelines talks from London.
There may I've actually been in discussion with some various members of the community that in the London area that I was saying I regret not going to the one last year. I'm actually really keen on going this year. So yeah, there may be some live timelines talks.
I'll try to see if I can go out there then. We'll see.
And one other question. Shield mode activated. You mentioned the LTOs with the Tuesday packs, 5 for $10. I know a lot of our chat in the past has said that they're interested in us discussing new LTOs and this and that. Has that worked out for WRG? Can we expect to see more of those in the future?
Yeah, we've been experimenting with those. I think it took a few tries to get something that we liked, that both the community liked and that we liked. And I think we've landed on that current format of the 5 pulls for $6.50 for like $10. So moving forward, you might see them more frequently, but I don't think we're going to be like fully rolling all of the theme packs into that format.
Okay, we've gone over 2 hours already. Chat, you have the chance to ask a question. We're going to pick one question from chat to ask Ben before he goes. So hurry up and ask a question in chat. No. We'll vet it. We'll ask something.
Ben has just dropped something in our community channel. Would you want to explain this and introduce this, or shall I just show it?
Oh boy, yes he has.
Did I do something?
Something. All right. In which case, I'm going to bye Chakotay. I'm just going to bring it up.
I appreciate that the lesson has been learnt and that it's no longer a black image on a black.
Yeah.
I didn't want to troll you guys that much. I've already done that before. So yeah. So yeah, we got a little silhouette here.
That's interesting.
Zoom enhance.
Oh, it's idle.
You motherfucker.
So I'm looking at it in Discord. The head looks decidedly smooth. So that makes me think
big ears as a proportionate nature.
Makes me think Picard.
Or it's a Timelines Originals. It's human shins on.
Yeah, so I have to ask, I don't know if you'll know this, but we did get the art for Tom Hardy Picard at one point in just the event text, and he was relaying some of the story. Will we ever see Tom Hardy shins
Picard.
On young Picard in the game?
So, yeah, we have that art on backup. We actually almost had to use that backup art. Or I think actually I think it was a different crew. But we have certain copies of crew that are art that at least is on backup in case we get a last minute issues on the approval side.
There's plenty of Tom Hardy fans that are now waiting for some sort of issue. I know that.
Yeah, we'll probably release that art eventually. With that art.
Can we get a Tom Hardy plushie? Because I know a young lady who would be very excited to add that to her collection.
Oh, I did forget. Speaking about merch, Star Trek Chicago, I do have a couple cool shirts to give out. So probably during the panel, I'm gonna share this. We got Wick. We got our boy Wick
Nice.
on a skateboard.
He's doing a slick flip over the canyon.
Will
Yeah.
these be signed by WRG Ben for one lucky contestant?
I mean, if you ask me to sign them, I'll sign it. That'll be a first. But yeah, so we'll have some merch that we're going to be giving away as well. So anyone that go into Star Trek Chicago, feel free to come by the booth and play our demo of our new feature that we'll be releasing in later quarter 2.
Fantastic.
Okay, I did promise one last question from chat. Who's the best Star Trek pet, and why is it Porthos?
Pet?
Clearly Livingston.
You did say, I think you said the former QA lead gave you a tribble, passed on a tribble.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep. So you have it right here. My little tribble.
Okay. There you
Yep.
go.
Pretty great. Yeah, I like tribbles. Cuddly.
Okay. Thank you, Ben, for joining us for another Q&A. It's been absolutely fantastic to have you back. And thank you, everyone, for a chat, for your questions and submitted. Definitely seems like there's a lot interesting stuff to come. We're sort of on tenterhooks with new events and hopefully very soon lower decks, which you know everyone's been wanting.
Yeah, stay tuned for an update on that soon.
Definitely. Any final thoughts from yourself, Ben?
No, just thanks for having me. I know it's a lot of work to host it as well, so I appreciate it.
And don't forget to buy the Super Premium Campaign Track for only $14.99, folks. Excellent value.
Best value, in fact.
Is this the clone auto talking? Can we get your twin brother back on?
Yeah, I told you it's automaton to the. It's
I
Ottoman.
need a cane to pull me off.
Okay.
Awesome.
Good. Yeah. Cheers, Ben.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you as always.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Guys.
We had planned the normal show talking about Nuke Crew and everything, and news and notes. Stars is like, I want to go to bed. I work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I do.
So you don't want to talk about Second Chance Grey? You don't want to talk about Disguised Janeway? Or we could leave that to
Actually, I
next
kind of do. Usually, you guys remember months ago when I was like dead at the end of the show. I'm like, guys, I want to go to bed. Now I want to talk about stuff. But
Let's do it.
I finished this just in time at the end of the show.
Okay.
Can we
have to start with the most.
Can we just decompress the Q&A first before we go on everything else?
So what sticks out in my mind, confirmed, is a Displaced collection coming next. Now, we just had the animated series collection.
Yeah, so probably about
Displaced next, which I think is 30-something crew, and he said they're shooting for smaller-ish collections in general going forward. So, by the way, there is a list on formerly Disruptor Beam's forums, WRG's forums. You can go get the full list, or on Timeline Talks Discord in the Big Book channel, the list of all the crew who had the Displaced trait added today. You can also go, obviously, just in the vault and search Displaced. So, 54 at the moment, Evans of Wales says. So, there you go. That's
Trait audits, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's more to come, I'm sure. I'll harass them until they edit, and that always works. So
that'll do the trick.
So Displaced collection next, and the theme of the next mega is blasted from the pasted.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like Displaced, doesn't it?
Well, that and also we've got who did you say was the art for this week? Was it?
Well, hold on.
Janeway.
Can you throw that silhouette back up?
Okay.
Chat, help us out. Ilea has let herself go. Cairo says that's a Picard. Hello, Picard. That's 100% season 2 Picard. So I think most people are thinking it's a Picard variant.
Yeah.
Nero, low-cost monkey guess.
I
don't think they don't have Kelvin.
Could you imagine?
So.
What stats would you give me in this game? Come on. It's a grey crew, isn't it?
I would give you Dip
You would be Ryder Jake
and
Sisko.
Med.
Med? That's optimistic. Is that because of the COVID?
Yeah. No, because you're using individual.
That's a good point. For all of the bug squashing he does and tech issues during the stream, I think he might be Eng primary.
No, he talks a lot. That feels like
He
this.
talks a lot.
No, I start the show and I let you guys talk. I suppose there's a kind of diplomacy, I suppose.
All right, hold on. I got to pull this and shit.
You managed to keep us chuckle fucks in order. That's diplomacy.
Including getting Max Headroom Stars and Guards this week.
Yeah, no, I have to let you guys know that wasn't my internet. That appears to have been Discord because everything else on my internet was fine.
Oh, weird.
So, and it was still happening after I reset my router. So I'm not quite sure what happened.
Fantastic.
All right, folks, pull up in chat. You tell me what kind of skill set does Captain Idle have if he were in the game? Okay, so what else can we? What else can we figure out from this? Gosh, I'm gonna have to rewatch. He went for over 2 hours with us.
Wow, I think it's got to be Picard, doesn't it? Look at that head. Look at the ear, proportion of the ears to the head. I think this is some sort of new Picard from season 2 because we've just had 25th century Q, haven't we? So
I'm going to go ahead and guess he's Psychomip.
He's what?
That Picard, because if we're going to run with it being a Picard, what are Picards always? They are some variation on Psychomandip.
Oh, Psychomandip. All I heard was Psychonip.
Psychonip.
By the way, I do want to mention there were a few questions that we cut from the Q&A that will be answered during the charity stream. He wanted Fury and Joe to give their take on some of your questions. So if you didn't hear yours asked, not
Elderly
all
Picard.
Elderly idol.
Elderly
Dude, they call us elder players.
I know!
We're never going to let this one go.
I'm playing the game. I ranked 475 in the galaxy this week. That's wonderful.
Yeah, he roasted both of you and left me alone. It's weird.
know, you got lucky. I got the full brunt of that. He did not hesitate. He's like, well, you wrote on the forums. Well, yeah, you're right.
The only way that could have been better is if he'd had file ready to play.
Yeah, I'm going to play him some music next time he comes. Oh my god, that's Ben's music! Shall we talk about stuff? Where should we go? Okay.
Wanna?
I tell you what. We'll shout out the event winners because loath be us to forget that for 1 week. Congratulations to the Tahoe for your 505 Curzon Dax.
Tahoe.
Tahini, whatever.
Tahoe.
Tahoe. That's a Tahoe. That's my Norfolk accent coming through, that is. Anyway, this is...
Combined harvester.
That's right.
Yeah, this is going to get people to stay after they came to listen to Ben.
They
This
already
is
left.
Other names in the list. This Cisco at number 2, Cream King himself. Nolian number 3, Godzilla number 5, Plain Symbol Garrett, good friend of the stream, number 14. QA's very own Data at 18, Joshua 3 at number 21, 10F Zone Skip 23, James T. Kirk from the Space Junkies 32, Sanketse Siete at 41, Wide Brim, who's desperately wanting the hat collection at number 42, Etoff and Prox at 43, and Suncoast's very own Asimov, number 50. So congratulations to you for scoring those wonderful high prizes. Do you know what? Like, this has been an interesting week for Weird Crew because it's definitely Women's Week because we've got the Women's Day Behold, we've got a Disguised Janeway, Lily Sloane is back in fashion again. This is an interesting week.
For podcast listeners, Captain Idle is an Eng primary. They were so kind to you. 41% say Eng primary, 29% say Command Ip suck.
I am the least engineering person. Like, I can do flat pack furniture and that's about it. Ask me to put up a shelf and it falls off the wall.
And yet you run a million spreadsheets.
That's different. That's like, I don't have to
How
move.
is it different?
Because I don't have to do anything physical. I just have to type. If it requires guiding screws into plasterboard,
it's theoretical engineering.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm the Tilly. I'm the Tilly of people. Come on.
Yeah, that suits you just fine.
Oh, where should we go? Who should we talk about? Go on, auto lead us.
I'll tell you what, let me pull chat and ask who they selected from the Celebrating Women's Day Behold.
Right.
Incidentally, it's neither a day nor is it a week. It is Women's History Month.
Oh, well.
Month.
Frag, just for your information, Lower Decks is coming soon, and I swear we've heard that at every freaking Q&A. Come on.
Yes, but now we're that much
Really
closer.
soon. We're just on the edge. It's like, he's the worst lover. Never let us finish.
Okay, how many beers have you had?
Not as much as you.
I know I'm struggling to type the options in chat.
I should have another one. Should I have another one?
All right, folks, polls up in chat. Let us know who you pick from this Behold. You know, I hate to sound all whaley, but I do have them finished. So for me, it's
I don't.
It's just
Time to
airlock.
re-roll.
Yeah.
Yes. No, actually, I was lucky. Mok'bara Crusher is the one crew that I should have gone for all those times ago, should have retrieved, and I just never got round to it. So it's been nice to just kind of go, hey, free Mok'bara Crusher. But it is nice to see this Behold without a price tag on. Like, there's usually this kind of thing, the birthday Beholds is usually 1,500 lithium, just them to go, fuck it, it's free.
There's another special Behold in the portal right next to it that costs 6,500. So
yeah, well, that yeah. I mean, I think that is used for the Uber campaign for claiming your Behold. Like, you don't have that to buy that. That's why I think it's priced so ridiculously high. I think that's for the real kind of, I need to first to max this crew, otherwise you just use it for that claim one and hope you don't hit it twice and ticket support.
You say that, but I imagine there are going to be plenty of people who aren't going to want to buy the ultra premium Uber pack, and they're going to go, well, I can just buy Larry 500.
Yeah, I did find it interesting. Someone asked about Voyage tokens, and he's like, "No, we're gonna put it in the campaign, and if you want it, you know, that's where it is." So
You gotta pay.
you know, say what you want, and I've said what I've wanted before and been called out by Ben on it, but he's pretty candid with us. Like when it came to the question about quantum, will we see it? And he said no, and then he's like, "Well, we had goals to hit in this quarter, and so that's why we did it." And so, you know, I can respect that. That's the decision they made, and they are a company, and that's what companies do. So I still prefer that over, because I think this last lightning round, again, we had like 10 pages of questions. He answered them all yes or no. I think he passed on like 2 of them. So, you know, everyone's going to call me a shill. I get these DMs or whatever, but it's like, you can give a solid answer, or you can say, you know, as in our bingo players, you know, you can give the answer of, oh, well, you know, we're thinking about it, we're talking about it, and he's good enough to say yes or no, and it doesn't always work out. But
And if you're going to Star Trek Chicago, please just let us know. It's us that gets this exclusive information with the screen shares. Now it's your turn. If you're going to Chicago, take your cameras and live stream it there. We want to know what's this new
feature.
mode.
He said that they're shooting to drop in Q2, so sometime in the next 3 months. It's the back half of Q2, so maybe
soon.
in about 3 months we might get a new feature. And
I mean, if they're readying to demo,
Chicago
like, this
is early April,
yeah.
so we'll get a little info about it.
If they're readying to demo it at a convention, then obviously it's you'd assume it's in a state of readiness. We will see. Time will tell.
For podcast listeners, who did you select from the Women's Month Behold? 100% say Mok'bara Crusher. So I guess people are going for
which is interesting.
game power over.
I suppose people that have been playing a while got Homesteader Janeway 4 or 5 anyway. Uhura's not a bad pick, but yeah, I suppose.
She was also campaign crew, so a lot of people may have her finished.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Also, Idle put the point out, 6,500 for one crew. I am certain you have dropped more than that for way worse crew.
Anyway, I'm going to go get a beer now. I'm back in a minute.
Okay, so let's talk about this, because actually I'm going to pull chat. I'm going to see if I can do both at the same time after having a metric ton of beer. Chat, what do you guys think about... So there's the option now, if you don't buy or even if you do, if you don't buy the super premium campaign, you can still spend dilithium to get this new crew who they confirmed will be in the portal after a while, but not for about a year or so. If you guys are big offer wall users and you get a lot of dilithium that way, you at least have a way to get paywalled crew without having to spend. So do you like that, or do you think maybe it
yeah.
opens the door to, well, now we have justification to create really great crew just to put behind the premium campaign?
I just can't see 6,500 dilithium on 1 star of 1 crew. I mean, I know you have the 6,500, Tuesday packs or whatever to get a range of randomness, but just to pay it to target one specific crew isn't just buying out crew retrieval cheaper than that. That's something like 4,000 dilithium, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, you can't retrieve her. So.
But not yet, but you will be able to one day if you're patient. And she's not
in like 18 months.
Yeah, but I mean,
polls up in chat. Let me know what you guys think about this 6,500.
Yeah, I just think that's
also like we talked about her as a crew last week, and as a crew goes, she's the one with the most sense to do this for, because you only need 1 star.
Yeah. But I mean, what's
6,500
dilithium? What's that in real money? Like, what that's about? I don't know what dilithium costs these days.
Don't it's depressing.
No, but I know. But is that not? Is it not cheaper to just again shield mode here? But is it not just cheaper just to buy the Uber campaign rather than buy that much dilithium or spend the amount of dilithium you had already?
That's what they want you to do.
Yeah,
they want the cash.
Exactly.
Because you can get dilithium from a number of choices, but the campaign can only be bought with cash. So. Vaunted part-time host Big McLarge says more flexibility is always going to be better.
Yeah, because I was going to point out, if someone had been a particularly fastidious player and had not touched their data, you could potentially have saved all that dilithium they weighed during that mini event, that skirmish, and have enough to buy.
Man, we're never going to forget that, are we? That's going to live in our memories. Like, you remember 5 years ago where we got all that dilithium that we spent on?
Dude, we're elderly players. We're going to be dead inside 3 years, so I wouldn't worry about.
No one's going to insure our lives.
So, yeah, from a back end perspective, they did it this way because they have to have it claimable in the portal for players who get the premium, super premium campaign to open the behold. So they've done that before with placeholders that cost 15,000 dilithium. Something you're not meant to buy.
Red alarm.
Thank you.
You're not meant to buy individually.
Sorry.
For 6,500, I mean, I'm not going to say it's reasonable because that might be a little too ivory tower, but it's at least an option. So,
just no. I don't think any crew is worth that money. Even the #1 Voyager, I don't think even.
Bro, I have spent like
I know
so much more dilithium than that. So, if it was a #1 Voyager or maybe a #1 base, I would do 65. It's a guarantee. It's a behold, but you get that crew and then 2 others. So.
Listen, I can't talk. I make contradictory statements between this show and the forums, so what can I say? And I get called out on it by the developers, so hey.
And you throw away God knows him on chasing 2 skillers like mud. So,
yeah, you got to live a little, haven't you? Shall we talk about Disguised Janeway? Let's throw it into the pool there. Let's get rid of this.
For those wondering, 6,500 dill from the store is going to be a $55-$60 somewhere in there.
Really?
Do you buy it from the store?
Jesus.
Oh, well, I thought it was worse value, yeah.
Thank you, Racing Linus, for gifting us up. Thank you. Hey, Robert Kaiser, welcome to the world of subscribers. Come to our Discord. Okay, Disguised Janeway is...
For podcast listeners, what do you think about the new campaign? Behold, 87% say 6,500 dilithium is way too much. Oof. 13% say it's nice to have a choice.
Very nice.
That's kind of what I want. Yeah, Disguised Janeway. So, I'm in this odd thing of I have screwed up priorities. I am honestly stunned I got a 12-hour voyage considering how badly I cite my crew. I cite based on mostly love. Because she's really quite good. She's got a few non-standard Janeway traits. She's got Undercover Operative. She's got Displaced, which is the new thing. Her Voyage ranks are respectable. I believe she's like a really decent Voyage.
31 unboosted.
Yeah. And a decent base strength for a Janeway, so you'd be able to use her in events. The art, great.
The art's weird.
I look at her face, and I don't see Mulgrew. I honestly don't.
I've just pulled up
before we break.
Go on.
Before we break down the card, we haven't plugged it enough yet. BigBook.app, if you go there, the first thing you notice is that the wonderful no-name namer has added a link to this stream when we're live, so you guys won't miss a exciting minute of our stream. Secondly, Janeway and the away team blended to 20th century Los Angeles to pinpoint the location of Captain Braxton. So there's the flavor text.
That Braxton. Yeah, so I feel like this art has a few things going on with it. It has, for number one, the uncanny valley staring directly into your soul effect, which is never a good sign. Like,
This is
sometimes it can work.
This is the PlayStation 2 remake of Catherine Janeway.
A little bit.
This is the Elite Force. This is Elite Force Janeway.
I know Elite Force Janeway looked better than this.
Pull up in chat. Let us know what you guys think about this art. Yeah, it doesn't quite look like Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah. I honestly, looking at her, it looks almost to me as if either the lines that were like airbrushed out when they were going over it again, or this is some kind of composite of two different reference pictures, and it's been Frankenstein together. Because if you look at her eyes, they also look kind of odd. Like,
She has more neck than a Coors Light. Thank you.
Wow. It just looks slightly off. I'm kind of sad because I was kind of looking forward to this Janeway. Our suit, I'm a 90s businesswoman Janeway. I thought it was always like kind of... She wore it well because it was very contemporary. And it wasn't obscenely dated like some other things people have worn in Star Trek. And it's like, I'm kind of a little bit torn because she's a really good card statistically, but I'm just like, this art is a bit disappointing.
Oh, she's got your legs.
I'm just...
My legs?
What does that even mean?
That's
She's
the
wearing
quote from the
pants,
show.
dude.
He turns around and she's got your legs. Is that not what he says? Chakotay? Yeah? No? Come on, you're the Chakotay guy.
I appreciate...
Oh, my ancestors, right. Okay, yeah. You know.
I appreciate that BigBook.app already has displaced as a potential collection, even though it's been announced that it will be the next one. So, yeah, I mean, she's fine.
Yeah.
It's hard to get excited about. The power level is like it's above average. The skill set is something we've already seen. It's like the traits are pretty good. It's like everything sort of blends together after a while. So, but that also means, you know, if you're a newer player and this is one of the first crew that you're getting, you're not necessarily behind the eight ball. This is going to be about what to expect going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be grabbing a few copies if I can. It's just, it's just decent.
Fair to middling.
Why are people mocking my voice? Come on, I'm trying. I'm working, idiot!
Hey! What about... What's next on my button? What about Second Chance Grey? The Tuesday pack this week. The crew that was voted on the least! Yet they felt fortunate to say we're going to give away on a Tuesday.
It's so on brand. They had us vote for 3. We got the one giveaway, which was Command IPSEC, and then the next 2 are in 6-packs. Like, they're the ultimate Ferengi consortium right there.
Well, no, here's my question, right? Do you think if Confidant Kolber had appeared in the giveaway, they would have been so brazen as to make him IPSEC? Do you think that's a possibility?
There would have been riots in the streets.
For podcast listeners, do you like this Janeway art? Second Chance Janeway. 47% say not the best likeness. 33% say, yeah, it's okay. 20% say, please stop pulling us.
That's a valid answer. You flipped back to me.
So Returning Saru was a great crew. Like, how many people out there are using them daily on the shuttles? Huge base, more than competent Voyager. The skill set sucks, but they definitely gave them the requisite power. So I think they were probably pretty careful to say, okay, the players voted for this. They want him. Let's make him usable for everyone. So I think no matter who would have won, maybe we get like the same skill sets we have on these other crew, but they would have made them great power because they don't want people to regret, oh, I should have picked the other one. So, yeah, some of the skill sets are better, but they gave Returning Saru great power, and I think he's better than this Gray would have been.
Probably. As it is, I like the art. I think this is a really good like outfit and the details are caught correctly. It is throwing me off a little bit now having bridge crew entirely people with their hands on their hips. So I'm thinking of like, what is it, Commander Demos? We've got Grey, we've got
assimilated Janeway.
Yeah, I was going to say there must be at
queen
least one
of
or
it.
two Janeways in there.
She's more hip.
Grey now has a new synthetic body of his own to finally interact with the Discovery crew. So yeah, he does have the android trait. And if you just glance at these traits, and android, musician, prodigy, you might kind of think Data at first glance, but they've added a lot of Trill recently, including a new 2-star crew.
New green crew, yeah.
I think a lot of people are thinking maybe we get a Trill collection soon. Well, not next month because that's going to be displaced. But
don't worry, they're just stacking them in there like double mint gum.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's play the roulette wheel. What crew did I put next in my system? This is how we're going to play it, because we didn't do the show order before the stream. We were too busy with WRG. The next crew to talk about. Satin dress Lily Sloane. Why are we talking about her? She's part. She's going to be your 400k reward on that rerun event. And also, I believe she's part of the First Contact pack, which they may or may not be rerunning. So, this late in the... Sorry, coughing. This late in the game, how valuable is Satin dress Lily Sloane? Worth getting, worth finishing, worth bothering with at all?
Collections.
I think since we last spoke about her, she has picked up 2 extra collections. I think previously she was just costume. Now she's added communicator and resourceful to that array.
Auto, talk to me about this Lily being jury rigger versus the 4-star variant.
Well,
this one isn't.
So the 4-star version is her on the planet kind of working with Cochrane on the Phoenix engine, so I can see jury rigger there. But this version... What? No.
Because she's got the Enterprise D model in her hands, so she's on the ship. It's
right.
After the scene.
Yeah, but okay, but it's her, they just, they abduct her from the ship or whatever. That's her and her civvies. This is her role-playing with Picard in the holodeck, so you have to have some kind of delineation. They can't... Dude, it is so irritating because I'm trying to retrieve Wrathful Khan, but the 2-star or the 3-star security officer or the security uniform Khan, they have the exact same traits, which means I can't retrieve the gold one without either a 5-star Polestar or like an engineering Polestar, and those are both extremely expensive, so I'm fine. Give them a little different traits.
Fair enough then. I'll take that then. Fair enough.
They give her what costume because she's in a costume, but you give jury rigger the 4-star, so it's a little bit different, which is nice.
Incidentally, Cairo47 says, I like the character Lily was so good in First Contact. Alfred Woodward is amazing in everything she does, but especially in First Contact.
Go watch Luke Cage. She's amazing in that.
Oh, she's so good as Mariah. Yeah. She's so good.
I didn't even know it was her at first. It wasn't until about 3 episodes in, I thought, I just know that voice. I know that voice from somewhere. I had to IMDb her. And I looked and was like, holy shit, that's Lily Sloane. You had to
picture her saying, Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
Yeah. It wasn't until, she plays such a different character, but it wasn't until I just IMDb'd it. I was like, oh shit, that's her. Wow.
Okay, I weep for all the marginal cards who were annihilated by Red Angel's overpowering
stats. Yeah.
She has 745% gauntlets, and she has reasonable rolls, especially on the dip. And Dip Eng before Red Angel was, it was a pick'em. You had 8 different crew that were competent there, competitive there, and she was one of them. So when you print these overpowering and gauntlet exclusives, you really should be careful about who you're edging out, because she's one of them. Before Red Angel, I would say, hey, you could bring the screw in a gauntlet. Now you're going to be facing walls. It's not so great. But if you're a new player and you get the same behold that we've had for Convergence Day, I'd be comfortable taking her, because she's useful at 1-star. And if you get all the stars, like we've said, lots of traits, lots of collections.
Who are the other options? It's usually COP Picard and Phoenix Cochrane.
Phoenix Cochrane.
Yeah, I would say...
Well, you have these crew already imagized, right? Shall we move on?
Yes, let's.
To whom?
To whom? Homesteader Janeway, one of the 3 crew you can get for free.
That's a different behold, bro. Whatever.
It's not
We'll roll with
beholden to your roles.
We're here now.
Whatever,
We're here now.
Janeway.
We're here now. Homesteader Janeway, one of the 3 crew you can get for absolutely nothing. The low cost of fuck all. Should you pull on that pack that is in the portal right now? Since she's come out, I don't think she's aged that gracefully. I think she's kind of got a bit downhill. She's got some fringe use. Psymed is certainly something, but guys, what do you think about her nowadays?
We're almost out of poll time in chat, so you go tell us which flavor is better, spearmint or peppermint. I may have spelled spearmint wrong. I don't know.
Spearmint.
So Homesteader Janeway is she's a fine giveaway crew because I think most people who immortalized her are okay with the investment. They probably used her in several events since then. Maybe they've used her in some voyages since then. But she was not like a you must have this crew. So they gave her a reasonable power level on release. And she's dipped from there, but Janeway is the faction queen, so you're probably going to use her a few times a year no matter what. And she's already preloaded. I mean, outside of a Gardener collection, she's pretty much all of her traits are already collections, so you don't have to wait on those. And then you talk.
Now I talk.
Just gonna say
I don't think I've ever used her on a voyage. Partly that's because I've just target certain skills with like relentless efficiency, and I just maximize the fuck out of them. So certain giveaway crew just don't like voyage for me. But I imagine most people like she's like being like held down Psymed, which is not the most. It's not uncommon, but it's not exactly common either. It kind of falls in that grey area. I think she's she's in that sweet spot giveaway crew. I have a for his moment, but it's a decent pick for the woman's hold. I can't think of many that would have much worse. I could think of a lot that were a lot worse. Like we could have gotten some freaking Orion Vina that would have been both in bad taste and also a bad crew.
When are we going to get the Maris, Dinesh, and... No.
Oh, God.
Navarre. You don't remember her name?
Navarre.
Free Behold. There we go. That's the Women's Day
chat,
Behold auto ones.
Chat, tell us what other women you might have picked for this Behold. I think they kind of got it right. You have Janeway for obvious reasons. First female captain. Uhura, Nichelle Nichols knocked it out of the park, obviously, for all the civil rights issues.
Yeah. I am surprised they didn't put Burnham in there, actually. But it was a tough call.
No, she would have been a fine choice as well.
It would have been a decent pick, but I feel like they probably feel like either she was overexposed or maybe she's had multiple crew, and they're like, we can afford to do so. Not to mention, Mok'bara Crusher is a banger of a card, and apart from First Officer Burnham, there aren't actually that many good Burnhams.
True.
So,
speaking of Mok'bara Crusher, let's talk about Mok'bara Crusher. This is probably... go on.
Big in chat says Major Roddenberry. I think she only has... Well, she has a weight team number 1, who you'd probably have to put in the Behold. Plutonian Chapel's probably a little bit too new, so... A weight team number 1 could work, I suppose. Akira would be a good one.
Grateful Loxana would also have been a pick. I know Big would have hated.
Definitely. Let's Mok'bara Crusher.
Also gotten away with Balana. That would have been cool.
Oh yeah, Kira, yeah.
So I don't have this crew finished.
No, me either.
I never had this crew.
Oh my God! What are you guys doing on this show? Get off of this show.
I never got around to it.
100% of our respondents said that they took her in the Behold.
Yeah.
So let's spend a minute on this crew. Huh?
What I will say is, this is where I'd put my immortalized Braxton, if I had one. I don't make smart choices, you know this. I don't have
I love this flavor text. Beverly practices the Klingon art of Mok'bara to meditate and also to pry into Troy's love life.
That's real good. That's a good one.
I think we've said before that like her relationship with Troy is one of the very few female on female relationships that we have in the game. You know, you have a billion other Geordi and Data, Kirk and Spock. You have a billion, Bashir and Garrett. You have a billion of those.
Kieran Jadzia is usually one that gets played up a bit. But,
but I mean, not even as much really as Crush and Troy did. So You got to head to bed. Bro, you live in Australia. It's like 4 a.m. there. What are you going to bed for? Come on, watch the rest of the show. So this is, I mean, everyone picked her for a reason. She's still a fantastic Voyager. Unboosted 39, but great skill set and trait combinations. So you'll use her for probably 3 years at least, if not more.
Not to mention, like, unboosted 39, but 50 of the crew above her are all Command DevSec. So.
Yeah, this is definitely one that will get regular use without fail. We'll knock a few other people like Q as God off your roster if, quite happily freeze them. If,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So her arena quote is, "And then what happened?" You remember the scene where, like, Troy's talking about
doing their exercises, and then, like, she's like, then this thing happened, and then Crush fucking hit without a moment. She doesn't wait a second. her face is like stone, and Troy's like, Beverly, and then just like, give me the fucking deeps.
I think this is from Second Chances, where Troy's like trying to choose which Riker she loves more. Mm-hmm. So
but then in a future episode, there's Troy and Beverly sitting across a canteen, and Beverly's just like, I just need to share. This is my grandmother's journal. It's fucking hot.
Particularly erotic chapter.
Well, like, let's never forget that moment where they're both wearing 80s jazzercise outfits and, like, sitting on the floor and, like, pulling each other towards. It's like, what the fuck was that?
Meanwhile, Rick Berman's in the corner going, yes.
Okay, folks. So it was actually nice. Crusher had gone, like, forever between events. Last year, she had 3 different events. So that's nice, finally, that Crusher's getting a little bit more work. The dip primary will play easily on any faction event she gets. This year already, she's had 1.5 faction events from the Caregiver Megas. So, when she gets a bonus, you'll use her. Nice big dip base and a huge med secondary for voyaging. So, you'll use her for a long time, I think.
Okay, and the last crew in this pack, leading lady of the show indeed, probably second only to Major Barrett, Lieutenant Commander Uhura herself from Star Trek The Motion Picture. This was a good crew about 6 months ago, until they decided to release every Command DivSec crew above her, which is such a shame because this is such a good card, really, but sadly she has not worn the test of time, I don't think.
I would disagree, just because I am shallow and I love the art. Nichelle Nichols is the only person who wore the TMP forms with any kind of style.
No, art-wise, Nichelle Nichols, absolutely fantastic. It's a great card for that. And it's the motion picture. Come on, that's my favourite film. Come on.
If you guys have not claimed Behold yet, and you go to bigbook.app, you'll note that she's only a 25% chance to retrieve right now. That drops to 16% when a few crew enter the portal. So this might be your best chance to get her if you really want her. Voyage-wise, she's not great. Her best chance is going to be on communicator antimatter seats. There's just so many of this crew, of the skill set. Events are kind of hard to come by. You might average 1.5 per year, in which case you'll definitely use her. She's got strong bases. But then again, the collections, she has 2, are kind of middling. Every crew has 2 collections these days. So she's kind of middling all around, but for events when she gets a bonus, she'll excel.
It's also kind of weird because they decided to release, like, because she was the first one. I think she was debuted in the 6th pack, and then they decided, this is a command primary. Let's release dip primary, and roughly the same like bracket. I think just before her was Rescue Team Uhura with a sec primary. So you literally get 3 flavors of Uhura with different primaries that all are round about the same Voyager egg with roughly the same antimatter traits. It's like, guys, you're self-cannibalizing here. Can you just do something a little bit different?
It's the Worf problem where if they're all the same skill set and 3 of them have like the same primaries, a lot of players say, well, I have the other one, I don't need this one, and that's kind of hurting your own sales. But how many other people, anyone in chat, this happened when I opened the time portal. I saw this Behold image, but it gave me the 4-star Commander Uhura. And then when I restarted the client, I got this one, Lieutenant Commander Uhura, the 5-star. So I don't know if they were like deliberating between which one they were going to add, but adding a purple into this behold would have been, would have hurt the value. So I'm glad that they changed it at least.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We've got a couple more things to talk about tonight before we go off. We have to have a big congratulations. We really need to raise the roof on this one because Stars, as you tried to allude earlier when you were teasing Ben, you have actually had a 12-hour voyage you weren't expecting. So congratulations for joining the ranks of the 12-hour voyagers with, myself. I am a 2-time 12-hour voyager. Genos, and one of our moderators, he's a 12-time voyager. Plenty of other people. Auto, are you 12-hour voyager yet?
Yeah, Auto, can you elucidate on the...
How many events have you guys won? No, hold on. I'm trying to keep count. How many between the two of you have you won?
15.
27.
Yeah.
What timelines?
Okay, I've had a billion 12-hour voyages in that case. All right, knock it off.
Yeah. Seriously, Stars. Congratulations. You've you weren't expecting it though, were you? You forgot a dilemma, didn't you?
I niftied. We have much beloved member of our Discord and friend, Nifty Mittens. He has a habit of forgetting all of his voyages and just forgetting to recall them. And so it's called doing a nifty. You've niftied your voyage. And I was at work. I did my thing. I was like, I'll finish my lunch and I'll get back to that in a moment. Didn't. And I went, oh, fuck, I forgot my voyage. It's going to have crashed. I'll just abandon it. And then I looked at it and I'm like, 11:45, and I've still got like 400 antimatter left. It's like, and then I took a screenshot and I sent it to the Discord server. I was like, this is right. You're like, that looks right. And I was like,
very nice.
Okay, the last poll of the evening, I promise. Have you guys in chat made a 12-hour natural voyage? You two have. I have not. I don't typically tend to extend it because I don't want to deal with like a failed voyage, so I just recall it at 10. But
tend to, yeah. I will look at the antimatter.
It's nice
I think
to
if I'm at 10 hours and it's over 1,000, maybe I'll push my luck. But generally, it's not.
Generally speaking, it kind of depends for me if I've managed to get a purple up to that point. If I've gotten a purple and I hit 10 hours, I'm like, I'll let it ride just in case I get another star on something interesting.
You want to push your luck.
Damn right.
We've kind of been badgering Ben about adding to the achievements and captain levels and stuff. I would kind of like to see one for natural, like not using a revival token voyages. Because that would be, I mean, it's a fun accomplishment. You can come on our Discord and post that and share it with other people, but it would be kind of cool if they recognize that in game as well, I think.
Yeah, he did allude to it as well before we teased him mercilessly that we'd done it first. But that was something they were looking into, and that would be a cool little leaderboard. That'd be nice, especially if they implement actual game data as opposed to what we have, which is submitted data. Fine. Do you want to talk about trait changes, Auto? We kind of alluded to that in the Q&A.
Yeah, so you can go on WRG's forums. They added 53 displaced crew. It's going to be a upcoming collection, and from the sounds of it, maybe the next mega as well. They also added Temporal Agent to a handful of crew, Berlinghoff, spelled wrong, Rasmussen, Borg Queen, Incognito Kirk, Red Angel. And then they added the clone trait to Abraham Lincoln, which,
Okay, fair enough.
Block out the whole next show, and we'll pick that apart, because that's something to go after.
I saw that, and I was instantly like, okay, is that like... Either that's a mistake, like when they switched around Boothby and Booker's like flavor texts, or that is literally a case of someone was like, he got that's like Scalbian clone, right?
Because it kind of is, though, isn't it? I've been a while since I've seen the episode. He makes them. He doesn't pull them from history. He doesn't pull them from history. He makes them. So that's
but half the crew in the game would be clones by that logic.
No, a clone implies that you use existing genetic material to create a copy, and it's more like an illusion than an actual... Whatever. Let's not get bogged down. So the essence is they added a bunch of traits to a bunch of crew, and it's not quite the trait audit that a lot of people were hoping for, myself included, but it will lead presumably to a collection and a mega. So Ben did mention they're kind of shooting for smaller sized pools, so if you're hanging on to all your desperate civilians, hoping to get collection value out of them, that's probably not going to happen at this point. But it looks like they're open to adding new traits. We had historians somewhat recently and now displaced. So there you go.
Sheila asks, I wonder what a fused clone of the host would be like. Weird.
Normal length hair.
Extra thick glasses.
Yeah. We'd have these Coke bottle lenses like.
Okay, very lastly. We meant to talk about this last week, but we forgot. There has been an announcement. This is real Star Trek news. This is something that's divisive, fairly divisive among people. But if I just remove this from the screen, we have a new Captain Kirk. Paul Wesley, for people who might know him, I believe is from the Vampire Diaries, has been cast as Captain Kirk in what will be season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, so he's currently filming. How do we feel about this?
That dude looks like a cube. He looks like a rhomboid Dranagar. He's like his jawline couldn't be square if they tried.
Oh, so perfect casting for Kirk then.
It's weird that they're going this fast. He's got the captain stripe. He's got the captain stripes on him. Like this. What's going on here?
So I had a theory about this, and I hope that it's true. Because I absolutely thought, Kyra, this made me a little bit less excited for Worlds, because please don't do this. I want an actual Pike show. Don't throw Kirk in there. This isn't going to please me. This only makes me worried.
So,
but
go on.
But here's my thing.
For podcast listeners, have you made a 12-hour natural voyage? 63% say no, 38% say yes.
Rarefied company. So the only way I could see it working is if I look at the episode list for Series 2 of Strange New Worlds, and it has an episode called Future's Enterprise, and it's a flip on yesterday's Enterprise, and there's some kind of temporal butt wedgie, and it causes some kind of thing where, I don't know, Pike died on 4, or something like that, and Kirk became captain of the Enterprise at exactly the moment, and then it's all about fixing that, or some kind of other time travel fuckery that results in this. I think that would be fine. That would be fun, playing around with meta knowledge and what we as the audience know about Star Trek. That would be fine. If you're just going to have Kirk come on and walk around on the bridge of the Enterprise and be like, "Look, I'm Captain Kirk," it's like, don't do this. That's bad.
Would you like to know my theory? So we've never had any confirmation that Kirk was the Enterprise was Kirk's first command. He was certainly the youngest captain to be made.
I think they said he served on the Farragut.
He served on the Farragut as a lieutenant, but we don't know what happened in between. They could very well have him come in as a captain interacting. My theory might be Anson Mount has been on record to say that he's not too keen on long productions. Strange New Worlds with Pike may be a more limited thing. I think they might be bringing in Kirk sooner than people think, because the original series opens with Kirk, and it's never defined how long he has been captain of the Enterprise. He's there. He's just there. It's never said that. It's on the first year of its long mission, but that could have just been that commission.
No, it's possible. I think there are a few odd lines that kind of made everyone assume that it was his first command, because there's stuff like him saying he wanted Gary Mitchell as on his first command and stuff like that, and then there's Gary Mitchell on the navigation, and then I think also the 2009 movie said that it was his first command, but that's obviously a different timeline.
All right, let me read from chat. This news made me less excited about Strange New Worlds. I would even trade him for Nimoy. He looks good and probably will do a good job. I'm just not excited for them to go there. It seems to me that they're worried that Strange New Worlds can't stand on its own without Kirk. I'd kind of hoped they'd be saving Kirk for the last episode of Strange New Worlds as the handover between Pike and Kirk. I would accept it if it's time travel shenanigans. All right. I assume... We
still don't know if this is Enterprise. Yeah, it's possible this is some kind of time fuckery or another ship's bridge. Yeah.
I assume that they're going to have this guy come in and do a bad Shatner impression, or even a Shatner impression, and kind of hog the limelight. And that would be like the worst case scenario for me, because, look, Shatner is the definitive Why would you do? Everyone and their mother has done Shatner. People standing around in their garages do the halting voice. Like, we don't need more of that. If you want to come in and do a young, cocky, upstart maverick, that's fine. And if you do that well, that's also fine. But let something breathe on its own merits before you introduce a known quantity. And them releasing it before the show has even had one episode, it worries me too.
That does.
I want to learn. We've had lots of new shows, Prodigy, Lower Decks, Discovery. They're standing on their own, and they all have, they have detractors, whatever, but they have fans too. Let this be like another thing. Don't, I love Shatner and Kirk as much as the next guy, probably even more. I don't want to see this until like season 3 or 4 or 5 or something. Anson Mount is like freaking incredible. He almost saved Discovery for me. So let me get a little more of that before we start adding the known quantity.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go down the route of making into a bad Shatner just because just because that's not what they did with Spock. Like when they did Spock in Discovery season 2, he was very obviously Nimoy. He was still the same character, but he was not Nimoy. He was very much in a different emotional place. His portrayal was different, performance was different, and Ethan Peck. Like, I did not confuse the two. I did not look at Ethan Peck and say, you are doing a bad Leonard Nimoy impression like I did of that version of Spock you get in the Telltale game that's coming out, right? Oh, yes. I looked at him and said, that is the main character, but it is another person's take on him. If they can do that, then fine. I'm not 100% keen on it. I want them a chance, because Strange New Worlds is such an exciting prospect, but I do think you're absolutely right. I think they shot themselves in the foot by trying to put this out there before it's in 2 months. You couldn't hold on to your dicks long enough just to wait the 2 months.
Racing Liners and Cairo come up with a good point. There were some set photos came out with him and the actress that plays Lan Noonien Singh, and they may have came out and said, "Oh, people are going to speculate. Let's just put this out there." So people know. So there may have been just a reaction to go. But then what's the wrong with speculation? As for the kind of his impression, I watched, when this came out, I watched an interview with Paul Wesley doing some sort of Vanity Fair piece. And his accent could be Kirk-ish. I think he will do the Ethan Peck route where it will be his own take on a Shatner, but he's got the same kind of vocal mannerisms that he might, it might blend well. So we'll have to see. I mean, yeah.
Shatner is just infinitely more impressionable.
But what do you think about the Chris Pine Kirk?
He's just so much easier to mimic and to replicate than Nimoy. Nimoy is, he's great and all that, but Shatner is just so much easier to replicate, and I think it might be like too easy to fall into that.
But I think Chris Pine sort of blended the role well as well. He had his moments where he was like, you're like, oh gosh, that's Shatner, and then there were moments where he thought, well, no, hang on, this is his own take on the cocky abrasiveness of it. So there's room of both worlds.
That one was
best of both
diluted by the fact that it was still a different. I kind of view that character until Beyond, at least, as a different character because he has such a different upbringing. He acts so different to Kirk. Now I may also this may betray what I'm like, but in the end, this does come down to what Kirk does on the bridge of the Enterprise. This does not come down to what Paul Wesley's impersonation of Shatner may or may not be. This all comes down to how good is it when these guys, when Spock and each other, do I feel the connection? Do I feel that moment in the City of the Forever where Edith Keeler says, what's his place? I suspect it's always been by his side, like it's a universal constant. If I can get that same energy that these two are meant to be, fuck it.
Yeah.
They're meant.
You've got to juxtaposition it because the Spock in Discovery Season 2 is very much Pike's. The equivalent with Pike, isn't he? He's very much like, this is my captain, this is my best friend, this is my Jim. As a moment, like having to pull him away to Kirk, even with Burnham saying at the end of season 2, find someone else that's so radically different from you. Go and find that person, which everyone was like, oh yeah, he's going to go find McCoy. But it's yeah.
Let's back up a second because it's been a little bit depressing the last few years to see how much infighting there is in Trek fans, and there's a rather large subset. There's a rather large subset of viewers who say Orville is true Trek and Lower Decks.
Red alarm!
Thank you, Madison 78, man.
Orville and Lower Decks are true Trek, and I don't disagree with them. But it's like, before we get into all the interplay and actors and roles and this and that, can we get like an episodic Star Trek where we have gamesters of Triskelion and these weird ass aliens each week? Give me something a little bit episodic, and if you want to do 2 or 3 episode arcs, that's fine. But we have these other shows that do these long season-long arcs. Almost everything modern does season-long arcs. If you want to stand out in current Trek, give me a little more episode in a bottle stuff, and then you can draw me in the character work. But if they do these season-long arcs of, we have to save the universe, I'm going to check out before I even get to know what the character's like, and I don't want to do that. So,
I think everything we're hearing from Strange New Worlds is that it is going to be mildly Planet of the Week with a serialized overtones. There's going to be a through running thread, but with weekly adventures. I think. I don't want to say keep your expectations in check, but I think it still may not be what everyone's after, but it will be a version of their attempt to do it with the modern stylings of television. Because at the end of the day, modern Trek isn't for the old Trekkies. It's for building a new audience. It's for building a series that can stand up with contemporary media. So I think it will be a balance. Discovery is the new Trek for the new audience. I think Strange New Worlds will be a balance of the two.
Hoping so. Yeah. And one final note is that, I was thinking for a moment, why is it that the Kirk one annoys me the most when we've got Uhura on the bridge and we've got Chapel and the
sense. Uhura makes sense because
that's the thing, isn't it? Because we don't even have first names for some of these characters, right? How underexplored they are. But Kirk, we know everything about Kirk. I know more about Kirk than I know about my own mother's backstory, for fuck's sake. That's part of the reason why I'm like, why are you doing this? I know where this guy's going to end up. And it's
there's something about
how Uhura gets through what I want to know her story, but Kirk, I know that story.
It's like watching The Hobbit, because you know exactly what happens to Bilbo Baggins the whole way through. But the same with Kirk I don't want to see a character that like you say, I know where he's going to end up. He's never going to die alone. He's going to die on Viridian 3 with Picard in a really unsatisfying boss battle with what's his name?
Tolian Soren.
No, I meant the actor.
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Thank you. The beats. So what's the point?
Advises that I should read my mother's flavor text. Well, it says here, tribbles evoke feelings of affection.
All right, let me throw, and we probably should get to bed now. Let me throw a lifeline to the Orville fans and the Lower Decks fans. I tend to, because of this game, if you play events or tank shuttles or whatever, you tend to have stretches where it's fun to watch TV. So I've been going back through. I started TNG Season 5. Guys, old Trek is still there. I watched Next Phase today. Ro Laren shooting Riker in the head is everything I want in Trek, and it's still there. It's still fun to watch. Michelle Forbes is still great. So it's it's a buffet. You can try any of the 18 different flavors of Star Trek we have out now, and if you don't like it, go back to the normal stuff. No one's kicking you out of the fandom. It's okay to only love TNG. It's okay to only love a certain series. I kind of fall into that camp myself, so I've really been enjoying my rewatch. Even Sub Rosa, which is so much worse than you remember, still has its charms in the ship in a bottle type of way. So. That candle. So it's all still there. No one's gonna kick you out. You're still a fan. You can still be a fan and watch the old stuff. So don't stress. Don't stress about the new stuff overriding what you used to enjoy or what you still can enjoy.
I'm waiting to find a Star Trek series I don't enjoy, just so I can have that perspective of being Like, of being like yourself, Auto. You say you don't like Discovery. Fair enough. Fair play to you. I want to know what that's like a little bit to have a Star Trek series that I don't like, so I can kind of sympathise on that level. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to not like a Star Trek series.
The closest I've ever come was Enterprise season 1 and 2, and even then I still like.
I've warmed up to that. I've warmed up to them quite a lot.
Yeah, no, it's actually a series. You know what? If I give it 3 or 4. If I give it 3 or 4 more watch throughs, aren't liking it properly.
Shuttlepod 1 is warming me up to a lot more, definitely. Oh, guys, I think we've exhausted ourselves tonight. Everyone in chat, you have been amazing, bearing with us through this. Thank you very much to Ben and the WRG team for allowing us to have another interview. We will be back next week for a kind
Wednesday. The following Sunday for the charity stream.
So next Wednesday
Sunday.
Yes.
I think Wednesday we might just kind of hang out and chat about whatever between the Q&A and the charity stream. Do we have documents upon documents trying to plan stuff out? So we might just hang out and talk about whatever nonsense we can muster.
Why not? And then, yes, charity stream. Please, guys, come along. We will have more information in the Discord. We've got the schedule up. Everything's going well with that.
I'm going to be generating Captain Proton character sheets very soon. It's going to be good fun.
Can't wait. I want to be Lonzak. Sire! Anyway.
I will make you a Lonzak character sheet just for you, Idol.
So I'm looking forward to that.
The clever fiendishness of your evil plot is magnificent.
Remember, you're the queen.
We're gonna get stuck trying to open a door for 40 minutes. It's
you're gonna be cutting it up, and it's gonna be the best.
Fucking excuse me. I'm trying to end the show here, but I can't.
Okay, we better go before he snots on us.
Oh boy. Right. Hold that. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We will see you again on Wednesday. Ta-ra.